Good evening, everybody. Peace and love, Sister Freedom, Big Mama. How's everybody doing Friday night?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. As y'all come on in, daughters of the sea. What's up, y'all? Happy Friday.
Peace and love. Happy Friday. It's Dulcinea.
Okay, we just wanted to come on tonight and just have an open panel. I am going to put the link in the chat for whomever wants to pop in, talk about any subject, even though no one's in there yet. But y'all, we can talk about anything. That's for sure enough. Anyway, how was y'all's day today? How was your day today, Dots?
It was okay. Hey, girly girl, what's up? What's up? It was okay. Nothing out of the ordinary happened at all. I'm a little out of it. You know, I need to sit my behind down and get it together. But it was a good Friday overall.
Let me see how my day went.
How?
Actually, I was a little disappointed today. Where I thought the man, I've been having problems with my basement. Well, where I thought the man was going to fix one part, he's the whole thing. He's talking about just one part and asking me for damn near $1,000. I said, honey, we're not doing that. So that was a little disappointing. Overall, it was a good day today. It's Friday. Tomorrow I got to go to Philly, but pretty much was an okay day. How was your day, Dulcie?
It was good. Peace, girly girl, Sakina, Indian Carter. Um, it's been a good day.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? I'm glad they starting to come in now. Maybe they thought we wasn't going to
We
come on, but
Yes, and we want you guys to come up and hit the link. We really is an open panel. We're not talking. Hit the link, girly girl, Sakina. We love you, Indian.
I'll send it. Well, it's up top. Well, let me.
And Nisha's gonna be late, y'all, but she's coming.
Yeah, she's coming. Okay. Now this is what
Peace
I have a
signs.
question, and maybe y'all can answer the question for me, or what y'all think of the question. It is like on the topic a little bit on the African Indian thing. Okay. Why did if we were all Africans, okay, and this is a question I posed it to Dulcinea earlier. Why is it that they had to call us Negro, black, colored, and nigger, before even calling us African American? If they were so sure that we were Africans, what do you think would have been the reason why they called us all these different names? I mean, even Indian. They called us Indian. That was also a name that they called us as well. So all these names before they get to African American, but yet they already knew we was African, so-called African. Why do you think that they did that? Can you answer that, Dots? Does that even make any sense?
You love this topic. I tell you,
You
freedom love talking about this.
Wow.
Um,
Is that it?
I'm gonna let Dulcie do me I'm gonna need 5 minutes. So Dulcie, do you mind jumping in? Or Nisha, what's up, baby? You're gonna have to jump in. You can answer that before I do. Give me 5 minutes, y'all.
Pieces.
Hey,
Well, first, my day was good.
hey, oh, you
Um,
put the question.
yeah, I heard it coming in. My day was pretty good. I can't complain. Normally I always have a good days. I might have bad moments, but I never let anything um affect my whole day. So all in all, it was good, and it's beautiful here in Florida.
Oh, I know it is. And we're supposed to get 80-degree weather all next week. I'm psyched. Couldn't wait for the summer to get here. Like it's supposed to be really nice. But anyway, this is the title. And I put it in there because I had that question. I wanted to see what anybody thought about it. Anton, if you can you hit the link? Because I want to know what you think about it. I'm just trying to start it all up. Okay. So Niche, the question that I asked, if we are Africans, why did they go through so many different names before calling us African American? Why do you think?
I really don't know why. I don't know why they did what they did, and I'm not even gonna try to come up with an excuse on why they did what they did, or even if it was actually like how you say it was. To me, I really don't know. I'll
Well,
let the experts take that one on.
right. See, I'm older, right? So I
Hey,
remember
girly girl. Hey,
I
Hello,
Anton.
remember
ladies.
Hey,
Hello.
y'all.
Hello to the panel.
Hi.
Peace, Shirley girl. Peace, A-Time.
Peace. Hey, Sister Freedom. Hey, Misha. Dots.
Huh?
Hey,
Dulcinea.
yes.
Anton. I really, really,
Hey,
really
Anton.
I mean, because I was
Hey,
over
what's going on?
um Moon and she was over there doing her thing, and the guy, his name is Mr. Wesley. They was both getting it in, going all the way in, but nobody posed that question.
They never do.
They never posed that question, and
That's
I was
because that's because they think it's insignificant, and it's really not.
it's
It's really that's one of the best questions that hasn't been asked yet.
and I was talking with Dulcie earlier, and she said, "Wow, that is a good question."
Yeah.
If you knew that the people on these lands, now mind you, they also called us, and my mom always told me the Indian word was a misnomer because you know what how it came about. But the situation is even with calling us Cherokee, all these different names, but you knew we were African. That don't make no sense to me. But you called us all these different names: Negro, Black, Colored, Cherokee, Indian. Because you know when so called Christopher Columbus came over, he's supposed to had seen us as being Indians.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
why did you the last name you call us is African American, but you so called knew we were African? That don't make sense to me. What do you think is the reason? That you didn't get a chance to, or Dulcie didn't get
You
a
want
chance.
me? You want me to start those, or you want to start?
Yeah, I was saying it was a good question because I don't think they'll be able to answer it because when you have so many different names, the only reason for that is for to misclassify people so they don't know who they are. So you have all these exonyms, all these different things like I'm gonna call you Negro, call you Black, I'm gonna call you this, and then you have the miseducation that goes right along with it, so they don't know who they are.
No, I think the people on the land knew who they were, and that the enemy just classified us all in one bunch. That's what I've been saying from the beginning. They did just put us all together and classified it because of the color of our skin, just like Mr. West tonight, only because of the color of our skin.
Yeah,
So,
I would love to.
mhm. I'm
I would.
sorry.
That's fine. Girly girl or Anton, I would love to hear.
Yeah.
Girly girl, ladies first. Would love
Um,
to hear what you have to say.
well, I
What do you think?
think for the most part, I feel like as long as the elders that sort of had a handle on or could put their hands on a reference of who we were, I guess our individual chiefdoms. Um, Once those particular elders began to die out, that's when you see a change. You see a shift in the names because, like my immediate family is a perfect example. Like my mom and dad are both born in 1950, and on their birth certificates it both says color. Now mind you, me and my sister and my mom and my dad are all born in the same city, same state, and same county. And this is in Houston, this is Texas. And they have colored on their birth certificates, and they're both born in the same hospital. Incidentally, one was born in March and the other one was born in December. And then come along 22 years later, and then I'm born the same exact location, not the same hospital, and then I have Negro, and then my parents are listed as Negro as their race on my birth certificate. And then you come 17 years later, because my sister and I are 17 years apart, same situation. She's listed as Black, and they're both listed as Black on her birth certificate. So we've been reclassified, and I'm saying this is like less than this is like a 33-year difference, a span of 33 years where all of this reclassification has happened. And I just think that they have an opportunity to remove us from the land and the minerals because you have to have something that definitively, something that's going to place us there, and it has to be something beyond the color of our skin, because originally that made us the Indian, but now it's something else, and they have to put it on paper and say, okay, this is not them. Because I even heard that the Asians, that if they are able to get their records, that when they can have their classification be Negro, if they have any kind of Negroid features, if they have any kind of dark colored skin, they can be classified as Negro.
Wow.
So it's a way to take us away from it and to place somebody else in our spot, because it began with the Native Americans. Now they taken over the Indian thing, and they want to make somebody else be Negro. So I think as the elders die off, the people that can definitively say, no, that's not right. No, we don't know anything about Africa. No, we're not African. Because now, like my mom's age, she's 72, that she's the elder generation now. The rest of them are dying off. And like from her recollection, she doesn't know anything about Africa. She doesn't remember it. But the real Indian history, you'd have to go to like her great aunts. Like her aunts and my grandmother,
right,
to find that out. And they're all gone.
That's some good stuff. I have something that I want to share, but hi, Sakina. But first, I don't mind if Anton wants to go, but I want to share something, an article about this that I just pulled up. So just go ahead, Anton.
I would love to hear what Anton and Sakina had to say about.
Yes. Hi.
Hey. Well, the reason why these names came about, first of all, is Negro. You had all these different connotations. It ties in also to the word more, and basically it's a description based on the language that they spoke. So if everybody does not know, Negro is actually a Spanish or Latin type of word. All the Latin people, Latin languages use the word Negro or negra for dark. And that's how they described us. Herodotus' Histories is it's a good book too, because in that book, he always talks about descriptions of what the people were. Now, a lot of them people didn't have languages. So they were just going off based off what they saw versus actually speaking a specific type of language in that sense. You see what I'm saying? So even like Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, these type of things, these were bastardized words or titles or names that was given based on they couldn't speak the language. They really couldn't understand, how to interpret what we were saying. So they just took it and created their own language. Now, what they did, and which was kind of slick, and they had help, melanated people, because we know melanated people pretty much ruled this earth all the way up until the 1950s when the Civil Rights Act happened. Now, when they did that, then they was able to use these bywords as chattel. You guys understand what chattel is? Chattel paper, chattel property, and it changed us into that dynamic of what you guys were talking about before, and able to take us off the land and put us into, I would say, like a floating vessel. And without notifying us or knowing us, the reason why our ancestors couldn't explain it, because they didn't know nothing about it. It was done without them knowing. They did not know. They were given something, but behind their back, behind the person's back, or behind that entity's back, or whatever, it had something else in mind. And then after a while, we just fell into it. And then during that time, during the Roaring 20s and things like that, late I would say the late 1800s into the 1900s into the 50s, they was killing us left and right. That's when all the lynchings was going on because they had these militias in our towns, and that's what the militias. If you look at the constitutions in each state, they always have things talking about militias, and these militias were these groups of people that they had, I would say, deputized as a small military branch to fight us, and they were doing it in a way that was so, uh, um, um, I would say, it was slick. I mean, it was slick. We don't know who actually was the names behind it or the hands behind it, but it was slick how they did it. It was a good game. And next thing you know, here we are. Um, but that was pretty much in a nutshell. Those description of those things after a while, then you get into the politics and the civics of everything where it became a popularized media type of thing where everybody started buying into it. You had your sellouts that came across. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King said, I led my people into a burning house. And they thought it was something, but it turned out to be the opposite. And they got taken out for it. Now we left to pick up the pieces. But that is the main thing about these Negro and African Americans and all that stuff and so on and so forth. These are bywords that are being thrown out there by Reverend Fried Chicken. And next thing you know, we sitting over there buying into it and buying into this whole gamut. And now we got to work hard to get ourselves back out of it. But nobody's going to address that because that's the key. If you address that question that you had right there, Freedom, we would definitely be able to fix it. But as long as we outside of that question, we won't be able to fix it.
What was the
Because
question again? Why we
the
didn't
question,
fight the name change?
yeah,
No, the question
Why there
is,
was so many peace, Mama Chief?
Can I respond
Peace,
to
Mama
Freedom?
Chief.
but she wanted
say the question one more time,
the
Freedom, because she
question
said she was
is
good.
we have been labeled so many, and you answered the girl too. We have been labeled so many different names before we got to African American.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, we talking about the slave trade. We talking about all this where the undone people came over and invaded these lands over here. We're talking about Christopher Columbus. We're talking about trading on the seas. We're talking about people who have been onto these lands. If we were African, why they just getting to it with African American when we didn't had Indian, Cherokee, tribal names, Negro, we've had black, we've had colored, we've had all these names. And in Johnny Come Lately, we get African American.
Yeah.
Now, if we was African and they knew it, why they wait till Johnny Come Lately, like I said, to start calling us African Americans? That don't make no sense.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Can I respond to that real quick? Now that's a really good question. But the only thing I can come up with is that people tend to forget that they didn't continue to continuously bring people from Africa. That was only a short period of time. And then once they did, from my understanding, everything about Africa, they was taught and beat out of them, their language, their everything that they was supposed to be from Africa was taken from them. And then as generations went, it was lost and they was embedded with what they were their slave masters and whatever embedded them with. So that was lost over time. Now, I'm not saying that over time other cultures and things wasn't created after that, but I feel like that African stuff was lost.
I don't think it was ever over here. But I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying it, sitting in somebody else could reply. I don't think it was ever here.
And when
The
you're
thing
done,
is,
Freedom, I wanted to say something. Okay. When you
I
after you
don't
did.
think it ever was over here
Me
because
either, Sister Freedom.
the people online were not African. So you can't call people over here African if they weren't African. You see what I'm saying? When Christopher Columbus could supposedly look like people from India, he never even, I'm quite sure that the man knew about Africa. So why are you seeing these dark skinned people over here? Why are you not saying that it's Africans over here. No, that was never said. It's not nothing they lost. These people been over here for however long, and their beginning was over here. So why is it that, like I said, all these names, not that they lost anything, they never had what was over in Africa, they never been there. So do you understand how I'm saying this, Sakina? Like, how can
I
you
do. I
how,
do understand what you're saying because most of them haven't. But I'm saying, but what about, okay, so if you believe, I don't know if you believe that the slave trade happened or not, but if you do, the first generation of slaves that ever came from Africa or over from the Caribbean from Africa, I'm talking
but
about
they called them Africans though. That's what I'm trying
maybe
to say.
then, but what
No, they
about
called them.
400 years later?
What I'm saying to you is, I don't know if you comprehending how I'm saying it. Okay, if the people got off the boat, you got them from Africa, right? But the people that was already on these lands ain't had nothing to do with Africa. You bringing people
Oh,
that look
I believe that there was dark colored people here
dark
before the
color people
slaves were here.
that
I
don't
do
even look
believe
like
that.
Africans. They just got the same complexion, but they don't look like the people. Because I'm quite sure you can be in a store and you can pick out which ones are African. You probably can pick out the Dominicans, the Africans, and Jamaicans. They all look different. Well, Jamaicans look a little bit closer, but to Africans. But I'm just saying, I always can pick them out. So the people on these lands have a distinct different type of look. Peace, barn dog. So I'm just saying they would have had no reason to call them Africans because they already knew that they weren't. And now they think we have lost ourselves and they could just put us all together with the Africans because of the skin complexion and the fact that they want to steal these lands. I'm also that in agreement with Girly Girl. But I just want to make sure you understood what I was trying to say. They never was over there. And they knew that when they got over here, they weren't the same people. Because why would they have to go all the way to Africa to get people if Africans was already here? That don't even make no sense either. So, I'm not downplaying the slave trade.
Can you
I'm even giving it the slave trade. If you went over there and you got people and you
can
know
you
these
share
people
my screen, please?
from Africans, okay.
What you got, Dots?
Wait a minute, I gotta pull it down. Okay, let me put it up.
Okay, I tried to enhance it as much as possible, but
Mm-hmm.
and bear with me because it's from Time Magazine. Um, what happened?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
All right. So to your question, right? Like, and it says U.S. race. Okay, U.S. changes how it categorizes people by race and ethnicity for the first time in 27 years. Okay, so bear with me, but I think it definitely ties into what we just are talking about. So it says for the first time in 27 years, the United States government is changing how it categorizes people by race and ethnicity, an effort that federal officials believe will more accurately count residents who identify as Hispanic and of Middle Eastern and North African heritage. The revisions to the minimum categories on race and ethnicity announced Thursday by the Office of Management and Budget are the latest effort to label and define the people of the United States. This evolving process often reflects changes in social attitudes and immigration, as well as a wish for people in an increasingly diverse society to see themselves in the numbers produced by the federal government. Okay, I'm going to skip that quote and I'm going to go here. Under the revisions, questions about race and ethnicity that previously were asked separately on forms will be combined into a single question. That will give respondents the option to pick multiple categories at the same time, such as quote unquote Black, quote unquote American Indian, and quote unquote Hispanic. Research has shown that large numbers of Hispanic people aren't sure how to answer the race question when that question is asked separately because they understand race and ethnicity to be similar. And they often pick, quote unquote, some other race or do not answer the question. Let me skip down. The changes also strike from federal forms the words, quote unquote, Negro and quote unquote, Far East. At one time, those classifications, Negro and Far East, actually was listed on some of the census records, right, in terms of how you identify yourself. So the changes also strike from federal forms the words Negro and Far East, now widely regarded as pejorative, as well as the terms majority and minority, because they fail to reflect the nation's complex racial and ethnic diversity, some officials say. The revisions also encourage the collection of detailed race and ethnicity data beyond the minimum standards, such as Haitian, Jamaican, or for someone who checks off as quote unquote Black, right? Hold on, I want to read one more paragraph. Hold on. There was a okay. The changes will be reflected in data collection forms, surveys, and the once a decade census questionnaires put out by the federal government, as well as in state governments in the private sector, because businesses, universities, and other groups usually follow Washington's lead. Federal agencies have 18 months to submit a plan on how they would put these changes in place. The first federal standards on race and ethnicity, this is an important paragraph. The first federal standards on race and ethnicity were produced in 1977. Where you go? Hold on, y'all. Were produced in 1977 to provide consistent data across agencies and come up with figures that could help enforce civil rights laws. They were last updated in 1997 when 5 minimum race categories were delineated, meaning taken away. American Indian or Alaska Native, Asian, Black or African American, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, and white. Respondents could pick more than one race, right? The minimum ethnic categories were grouped separately as not Hispanic or Latino, okay? And I'm gonna read one more and then that's it. In 1820, racial and ethnic categories used by the United States government reflects their times. In 1820, the category, quote unquote, free colored people was added to the decennial census to reflect the increase in free Black people. Pay attention to the date, y'all, 1820. And we know that slavery ended around 1875, so it says here in the United States. But in 1820, the category of free colored people was added to the census to reflect the increase in free Black people. In 1850, the term mulatto was added to the census to capture people of mixed heritage. American Indians were not explicitly counted in the census until 1860. That doesn't mean that they weren't here. That doesn't mean they didn't exist. That means they weren't counted, right? Following years of immigration from China, Chinese was included. So basically the article goes on and on about just how these things, these labels and classifications happened over time. It's a really good article. It's from Time. It's an opinion piece, but it actually ties in exactly to what we were just talking about. Like, how did these labels, these classifications come to be? What do you guys think about that?
Exactly. Now, these people, and I'm just going to say, the Pan-Africanists and all the other Black Power people, the FBA people, they're going to find a way to pick that apart and flip it. If we were not counted since 1860, then how can we be considered free colored or Black? Period. When I say we, I mean the American Indians. If we were not counted, then how can we be in the category as free colored or Black?
Right.
Period.
And not only that,
Bars. Bomb.
there wasn't no
Done.
capture, right? We know, and that's why when people say, "Oh, well, the census, show me the census records," but we know that that's not really accurate because not everyone was counted, not everyone, and not only that, the person or the people who were taking the census. Let's be clear, the technology wasn't advanced back then, right? And it was
Yes, it
for a
was.
specific reason.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Well,
was.
not in
That's
the 1820s, not in the
no,
1860s when
yes, it
they're
was.
trying
We
to
were
capture this
advanced.
data.
We were
But how are
advanced.
they
Yeah.
collecting the data is I think probably the bigger issue. They had census takers, they had enumerators, and a lot of them didn't. They were marshals, they were military men, and they were sent to live in these areas. They didn't just go and do the census for a month or two. They were there, they said, as long as a year, collecting the data for the census, because their goal was to try to get as much information as they needed, and then they had to sort of befriend the people in those areas, because they, the Indians spoke Indian languages, and so they needed translators. They needed to get in good with these people, with the young men in the community, so that they could have translators. So I mean, I think that by and large, like Dot said, a lot of them weren't counted. But remember, if they decided
Who's
that they
they?
wanted to stay,
Who's they?
the Indians.
Everybody, hell, even those that would be identified as quote unquote black. You think about the census today. I always say this: when somebody, not even today, if the census come and they're trying to capture how many people live in my home, I'm not trying to give them my information. I'm not being very on. So what I'm saying is, even the data that's captured, you can't really take it for what it is, because we know that there's a lot of gaps in that, And so
Yeah.
to the question and to Freedom's point that we were talking about earlier, and the article even mentioned about these types of labels, okay, African American or what have you, oftentimes it reflects the culture at the time. Like, I'm black and I'm proud in 1960s. That made somebody feel good. It's usually for a reason. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share
Well,
that with you
well,
guys.
the thing is,
And
yeah, put the link in the back chat and actually put it in the chat, because that's a big thing. But I don't want you guys to get away from what you just read, because it's going somewhere. You guys might not know it, but this is what I was talking about. It's going somewhere else. It
Mhm.
specifically said that we were not counted at
Ain't
all.
this- Or to, but you know what? I'm going to interrupt you. Not counted or switched up, because
No,
see, no,
no,
but
no,
listen,
no. Because it said
no,
1850, Freedom.
I'm
It
sorry.
said, I know where you're going, Freedom, but it said 1850 and 1860. That's when we came in of some sort. But when you look at the history of the people coming over here into America, they were melanated people that was a part of that Inquisition. They were speaking French and Spanish. They were speaking those old different languages. That's
Yeah, the
something
Black
that when you're
Europeans.
dealing
Okay.
with the colonies and things like that, and those ports, right? You talk about those forts and those ports where they was out by the water. They couldn't come into the interior. Period. We would not let them in because they had diseases and they came from other places. They really wasn't washing their ass. None of
Mm,
that.
mm.
So the thing is that they could not come into that interior. So when you're talking about those colonies and all those things were small, and they were enumerating each other, and they were considered black and all that stuff. Those were the names that they were called back out there across the pond. It
Well,
wasn't
Anton,
happening like that in here, huh?
do you
They was
think that
called black.
they weren't counting us because they weren't able to come into the interior, and they are thinking that they didn't have a correct number just because they weren't allowed in? Is that what you're?
Sister, we had empires. We
No,
was
I know
running,
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying, I know that.
We wasn't to
That's
be counted.
because
That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking to the same thing to a certain
Yeah.
degree. I think they've always undercounted us. I think that they've always gotten our numbers wrong. I think there's
No. But
always been way more of us than what they thought, even to
I'm
this
sticking.
day.
I'm sticking to Dot's article. I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not going. I'm not going away from that article.
Perfectly,
Let's
perfectly.
not go away from that article right there, because that's a bomb right there. That's a bombshell. Like, question freedom, bombshell. Dot's article, super bombshell. Just supported exactly what Freedom is saying. I'm gonna try to interpret it for you. So basically, that is what is going on. So those people that came out of those 13 colonies and they started intermingling and started finessing and all that stuff with our people, and then you had then the intermixing started going on. So your mulattoes, your Creoles, and all these mixtures that was going on was basically them eventually mixing in with us. Once that happened, then they started to get counted. Then they started coming into the land. I mean, all the brothers, that talk about this stuff mentions it, but I don't really think they go into detail on it because they're covering a lot of subject. But if you really just stuck with this subject right here that Freedom just brought up, we will really get an idea. We were never counted until we decided to eventually create a treaty because they started expanding and started mixing in with us, and then next thing you know, they started counting us, so on and so forth. But yeah,
I think it was fear.
that's the thing. We wasn't. No, it wasn't no fear of nothing.
Well, let me tell you why. After you get done, I'm gonna tell you why I was saying that, because you were forgetting one important part during that time. It was invasion. It
It
was
wasn't
a
invasion
lot
at first.
of feeling. It was a lot of. Can you imagine these Europeans come, or what do you call them? I'm gonna say undone, because I don't know if they're European or British or English. I know the people that came over, even how my family got the last name, were from England and Britain and all them different Scotland, all them different places. So I'm just saying, during that time they came over in invasion status. So, a lot of times fear is a factor of a lot of things too. How is it that these people that came over, they weren't here, they came over. So they really didn't know who we were. That's why Christopher Columbus was saying that we were Indians, and that could have been a reason why we got the name Indian, because of Christopher Columbus. Because remember that in India there are dark people, just like in Puerto Rico, just like in Mexican. I've had Mexican. My girlfriend sat here the other day and told people there are people that look like me and you in Mexico. So if Christopher Columbus went over into Mexico, he'd have came back and said, "Are they Mexicans?" Because there's people that look like me and you in Mexico. I'm just saying. And if you are dealing with fear at a time America was dealing with fear because of the invasions. They could have put any name on us that they wanted to. They weren't treating us good. The slavery that took place was done to the people on these lands. You have to admit this, Anton. When you invade, if I come and invade your house, I'm going to enslave the people that's in the house while I'm taking their stuff. I mean, personally, if the people are dark and you bring people over from Africa, you know what I'm saying? And the people are dark here, you're enslaving everybody. You don't think that they enslaved and tortured the people that was on these lands?
No.
How?
No.
Well, let me hold on. Let me say something really quick before you get in, Anton.
Of course.
Because
but
we know, as far as with Christopher Columbus, there was no India across the seas. There was no India that he was basing it on. Like when we're looking into the etymology of the word and all this other stuff, it all comes back to the book, the Indus Valley. It's what they base science on. It's what they base history on. It's what Darwin was trying to prove. Everyone, as far as this beginning of a God people, the chosen people, the most important people to the Most High. And that's where you get like the Indus Valley, Indios, Indian, all this, just all looking for certain people that are supposed to be connected to God in some way, or the chosen people. And that's where it all comes in, as far as the misclassifications of the doctrines, of the ideologies. Well, the Moors are the chosen people, the Hebrews are the chosen people, the Africans are the chosen people. So it's all connected as far as the misclassifications in history and just what they've been trying to prove. That's why I brought up the science and Darwinism, because that's eugenics. That's all what they've always been trying to do and prove, that they can be the people of God.
And
Josie, can you
that's
skip
the
back?
thing. Hold on,
But
Straight Smoke.
wait a minute,
Let
Straight Smoke get in. Hi,
I'm
Straight
sorry.
Smoke. Josie, you made a really good point.
Wait
You
a
made a
minute.
really good point with that eugenics comment, Dulcinea.
Mhm.
And I mean that is a
Wow.
that is a bone and
That
arrow.
is the dagger.
And
I'm trying to say that what you were saying, connected to what I was saying, Dulcie, I thank you for that. But what I'm still saying is, for some reason, I don't know why. Supposedly, according to what they were saying, that he came over and thought we were Indian? Maybe he just thought we were Indians. I don't know. But I do know that during that time, they had to be dealing with somewhat of fear as well. What do you think that they did with the people that was on these lands, Anton, excuse me, when
Well, what
they
about Straight Smoke? Straight Smoke is on here, and I wanted to say
well, that's
something
because
as
we were
well.
I was talking to Anton. That's why.
Yeah,
Um,
I just kind of want to put a period on it. This is fire though.
Yeah.
This is nice. I'm loving it. Yeah. But, I
Um,
mean, the reason why I said no, and then I'll just follow, I'll make it real quick, Doc. The reason why I said no is because like the stories that they have told over the years are fabricated and at best. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is a lot of people don't know that Christopher Columbus, in quotes, because that wasn't his name, was melanated.
wow.
Dame did a cold build on that. You need to check that. That was an Easter egg he did. He cold build on that. I mean, everybody's done it. I mean, I was happy because I already knew it. And when you're dealing with those times when you said the undone people, I'm like, you're putting them, and that's what they wanted. That was their accomplishment that they made, that they put themselves in BC time and into our accolades and took us out of that. That's what I call invasion of the body snatchers. They put themselves in a place and time where they never were. Never. They wasn't there. And when they came over here, these were what you call the American returnees, those Moors and those people that came from the Inquisition. They got kicked out and they had to come back home. So we let them in, but we kept them on the porch. We kept them away until they cleaned up, got themselves straight. We showed them how to farm and do those things. Just like Martin Luther King said, he wasn't just talking about then when he was alive. He talking about way back then when we taught them how to farm. We taught them how to be civilized. And then we let them in. Then we started letting them marry our daughters. Then,
That's true.
then,
Come on.
then.
On.
So I'm going to stop right there. Go ahead, Big Straight Smoke. Dots.
Go Straight Smoke.
Thank you so much, Unscrambled Minds. I love you, what you do,
Great.
as always, how you always present different aspects of thinking and everything. You always cover the roughness of the mind. It is so invigorating, and at the same point, it's so empowering. I love you, sisters, for doing that. I really do. I really do.
Thank you so much.
But just to lock in on what we're talking about, um, is this safe to say that where is oh god, this is gonna be so hard. Where is where's the real? Where's the morality? Where are the people that actually understand what's going on? I don't even want to do this. This is not. I'm sorry to do this because it's just like I see people that's you know disrespecting grandmama, and I'm it's like the lineage thing, the lineage process. How do you do that? I mean, like literally, how do you do that? I'm sorry. I really apologize. I really apologize. I'm sorry, Sister Freedom. Um, Unscramble Minds. I'm sorry.
We
I
understand.
just don't see how, as a man, that I'm supposed to just go against my grandmother or my grandfather or my lineage or my tutelage. It's that's. I'm sorry. I digress. I'm sorry.
Not you spoke on that too, on how you felt about that. Mm. It's sad because you know what? They always say the Pan Africans always say we hate ourselves, but I think they hate themselves. I mean, I think if you go so far, to me, the hate that comes from somebody, even if you thought we were African, The African, you come out, they speak out of two sides of their face all the time anyway. But you say that the Africans use their tribal names and all this here kind of stuff. But wait a minute. First of all, where did the name Africa come from? That's what they need to look at. And then on top of that, the thing is that okay, if you want to say that, but why can't the dark people over here be from America? Even if you think that they African, why are you trying to push so much hate in it because somebody don't want to call themselves African?
African.
Like you're not proud of what the people did for you over here. You're not.
Because that wasn't that I think that it's a preconceived notion with everybody. The because I don't think that most people from Africa, I think if they come here, they're not necessarily preoccupied with what we're calling ourselves. You have some of those who will rebel against us,
Damn about that
claiming our
shit.
heritage. But at the same time, I don't think, by and large, I don't think the majority of them care that much. But I
They
think
don't.
that yeah, but by and large, they don't. But for the most part, I
They
think that
don't.
just wasn't the plan. So we were to be these people that were sort of lost and confused. We don't know our origin story. We can only go back so far. We were enslaved, and meant to work on the white man's plantation, and we were shackled and brought over here into these conditions. And that, if any of us have any sort of light skin or anything that's above this the tone of dark skin that they have, that we are our mothers and were raped and grandmothers were raped. And so there's a
Can I
there's a
bring up
whole
a real
picture,
number?
that whole picture that has been painted. And so we are going against that. And it's a pretty thick story. And so I often think about that, because I'm like, I don't understand why they push so hard against it. And then it's this thing where we all have to be the same. If we're not, it's like, and if you want to be different, then it's a problem. It's a huge problem. It's not just like, okay, well, they're going against, you know it's like it's almost like the world is going to collapse if we don't all go along with this narrative, the narrative, that the picture that they painted. It's a problem for them, a huge one. I mean, they've dedicated, you know YouTube channels to it.
I wanted to
And
say, and most of the time they're not African, they're from Europe. Those might say, oh, my parents were born in Africa. Maybe they'll be born in Africa, but that's a minority of them. A lot of the
yeah,
time believe they're African and they're from Europe.
true.
Dosey, Dosey, is it possible I can just put this in the back chat to show you their numbers on black people? It's astonishing. And it's like no one ever checks it. No
Dul-
one checks this.
Dulcie, are you home yet?
It's
No.
it's just gonna blow your fucking mind. I don't get it no more.
Well, I
I'm
gotta put
getting there now, but if it's in the back chat, Docs, can you share it?
I'm definitely gonna do it. When you tell me to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm
see
definitely
that
gonna
word
do it.
straight
It's
smoke.
crazy.
You see that big word, straight smoke? Please, no profanity.
Straight Smoke, can you share it from your? You gonna share
I'm
it?
sorry.
Share it from your screen.
I apologize.
You can share
I
it from your
apologize.
screen. Straight Smoke.
I can do whatever you tell me to do. I can put in. I can do whatever
Yeah,
you tell me
share
to
it so
do.
that we can see what you were talking about. You can share it.
Just
Okay.
that read what she read
Yes,
so
ma'am. Oh
unprofessional.
God, yes, ma'am.
She did
I
so
can't believe I
well.
get the choice to do this. I actually get to do this. Wow.
Dots, I gotta walk away for a minute. You hear me? Dots. I gotta walk away
Yes.
for a minute.
You
Okay.
have to share. Yeah, but you have to share his
Oh,
thing, Ben.
oh, damn. Ouch. Almost hurt myself. Okay. Whenever he does do it, I'll do it and then I'll walk away.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now. I
Okay.
really do this. Anytime you ask me anything, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm going to pull it right up. Sister Freedom, Sister Dots, Nisha, Dulcie. This is what I do for real, for real. I'm sorry, I'm that guy. Okay, call me a nerd, however you want to call it. I love my wife, however you want to call it. However you want to call it. I'm a
Straight
fair
Smoke. We're
man.
waiting on you to share the thing. Share it.
Dots.
I'm trying to pull it up. It's very hard to do. I'm sorry, Dots. I'm sorry, Dots.
You don't
I'm
have to
sorry.
apologize. Be sorry for it. And while he's doing that, hey y'all, coming in, Bad Saint, Indigenous Black Man, ex St. Louis, Marcus, Chilimbwe, Enots. Welcome y'all. On it, Jeremiah. Make sure y'all hit the like button, please, and thank you.
Is that Marcus? Hi, Marcus. Wow.
I wonder, are they still over there crucifying or attempting to crucify
Phoenix.
Phoenix? Mm-hmm.
I just sent her a text too because I would love to get her over here. I just
Yeah.
sent her a text. Phoenix goes in.
Oh yeah, she can hold her own.
I don't even know why people can't be proud of who they are. I mean, I just for the life of me. Mm.
And she got that real New York she got that thick New York accent.
Mm-hmm.
Said you better give it to them.
Which part of New
No,
York?
New York, New York gals, we know how to do it. Phoenix
Which
is no
part of New
joke.
York you think got the strongest New York accent?
No, she don't play.
No, I said which part do you think Dots got the strongest New York accent? Which part of New York?
Mama Freedom, Sister Dots.
Yeah.
Can I send it to you first and y'all look over this first because I don't want any problems?
Send it to Dots.
Sweetheart,
Okay.
you can just say straight smoke. We trust you, baby. We just want to see what we're excited. So just can you just share it? We don't have to look up. We
I
might
can
not have
put it in
time to
the
look
back chat and I need you to review it. I don't want y'all to get struck. That's
What
my whole
the
problem. I
hell?
don't want you to get struck. I need you to see
Boy,
it.
go ahead and share the
Come
thing.
on and share
Go
it.
ahead and do the thing
Whoa,
and
whoa,
share the
whoa.
thing
We've been
Boy,
so
waiting
we
for
if
can
you
you
to
don't
continue our
share
if
it.
thing.
God
you
damn,
don't
Nisha.
knock it off.
Come
God
on.
damn, Nisha. I'm just being safe. I'm being safe.
No, come on. Come
Oh, come
on.
on, man. You know.
Yes, ma'am.
As long as you ain't really
Yes, ma'am.
revealing no confidential government documents, man, you good.
Mm.
You good, bro.
And Nisha said, boy, if you don't share.
Now that's a big mama sound there.
We
Nisha
got
said,
him all the way together.
boy, if you don't.
Right. I'm like, now I'm really excited. I'm like, let me see this damn sauce.
Mm. Let me shut the door right here. Mama, I gotta shut the door a little bit, okay? Okay.
We could have made, man, I done made, we could, Freedom, you could have made us a whole dinner
What you do?
waiting
You
on
know,
straight smoke.
pancakes and everything. Wait, no,
Okay. We could have had daiquiris.
potatoes
You
and
could have made
everything.
us a 5-course meal.
You know what, Doc?
I'm
When
gonna
I
cut
heard
it out.
you saying
No, we're
something
gonna
about
get you.
collard
We on
greens,
top of you now because now you playing.
No, I'm not.
now
I gotta vet this shit before I
time.
do it right. I'm
Okay,
not gonna bring nothing to y'all.
we
That's not
Oh
right.
my
get
god.
started here. What I
All
was
right.
Just
saying
not
So
gonna
are
do
you gonna
that.
share it
I'm
or
not gonna
not,
do that.
straight smoke?
Yes,
Seriously.
my African friends don't cook no collard
I'm
greens.
sorry. I just gotta go through it. I just gotta go through it. I apologize. I
Ask
apologize.
Dulcinea
Really,
about
I
that too.
apologize. Really, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, but Dulcinea, okay, because okay, let me say it like this: my African friends don't cook collard greens like we cook collard greens, and they don't, and very seldom do I even see them cooking fried chicken.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
don't they don't make fried chicken. I've
but yet,
never heard
but out, Phoenix was talking about food that came from over here, like grits and all this here kind of stuff. You know what she was saying that came from over here, and
Mhm.
I was thinking about my African friends, and if they do cook greens, it's so completely different than how we soul food cook it. But they trying to make it seem because string beans, I put string beans and greens in, right? String beans came from America. All beans come from America, according to what I read.
Mhm.
But the thing about the collard greens and turnip greens and all that kind of stuff, I don't see them cooking that kind of stuff like we do, and they literally tell me That's American black food. That's Black Americans' food.
Hmm.
Then they said something about sweet potatoes. Now I know that they got some long sweet potato thing. I was trying to ask Daphne, you know that long sweet potato thing that they got in Africa? It's not a sweet potato, but I'm just saying it it has that kind of look like it, but it's long.
A cassava root?
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yucca? No, that's
Yucca,
South
that's South
America.
America.
South America, yeah. Thought about it when I said
They
it.
don't cook like we do. They don't cook like we do. I don't even think they use the same seasonings.
No, they don't. A lot of their seasonings,
It's hot, hot
yeah,
taste.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
saying we don't eat noodles like how they would use it as a yam. That's another word for how they would use it as a uh to like a meal.
Yeah, like we do spaghetti and stuff like that.
No, I mean they do oodles and noodles like it's a meal, like it's
Oh,
we don't do that. We might eat oodles and noodles like while we looking at TV late night after we done ate it. You know what I'm saying? We just we do it different. It's different. It's everything is completely different. I don't even think do they eat potato salad and macaroni salad and tuna salad. Do they do that? I ain't never seen them cook none of that stuff.
they don't do that.
No, they eat a lot of soups and stews, it looks like. A lot of
Yeah,
like
girly dog.
um they kind of cook stuff down from what I can tell just from like working with Nigerians. They
Right,
eat a lot of like, yeah, it's like a lot of like pot meals, I call them, like, like soup stews. Like they may have like a side of meat to go along with it. They eat rice and they eat their food and they eat the fufu. I mean, most of the nurses I work with are Nigerian. So, but and their diet to me it mimics, because I mean, like most of the hospitals I work with are community hospitals, and you're gonna find more foreign-born nurses. And like the Filipinos and the Nigerian nurses, their diet mimics each other, like how they commune and how they eat. It's all very similar. And but it's starch based, and then they add a lot of like stewed down kind of veggie meat combo things.
right. And it's like a
But it's
strong
not like our food. No,
feel
it's not.
to it. It's
That is
very.
Belizean.
What is it called? What you say?
That is Belizean. That is Belizean.
What?
What's
What?
Belizean?
That Belizean are the roasters. Those are the people that actually put things in tubes, or I can't call them tubes. Let's just call it a grill. For real.
Grill. A grill. Yeah, and I think
For
we
real.
started. Do you think so? I'm
Oh, I'm married to one. Her grandfather is 107 years old. I'm not worried about
Okay.
what no one talks about as far as Belize.
I just got
I'm
confused.
not worried about it. I can jump right on the phone and talk to this man right now.
Straight smoke. Guess, and you know what we're worrying about? The fact that you still haven't produced this thing on source that you done spoke a year and a half on about. You done talking about y'all not playing with me. I'm the one, and we still waiting. I think the year is now
They spoke up
2026.
to do it.
Like,
Keep
what are we
going.
doing right now?
I'm not
All right.
going to
So
dots. I'm
now,
not going to dots. I'm not
All
going to
right,
lie
all
to
right.
you. I am not going to lie
Okay.
to you. The sources that I want to pull up, has ejected me out of the actual time frame. They ejected me out of the actual source. They ejected me.
they ejected.
I'm
Okay.
I'm
And
not
where?
gonna sit here and lie. They ejected me. I'm
Oh,
been timed out for 30 seconds.
oh, okay.
I don't know if
Mm.
anyone has ever seen
All
that.
right. So I can. So no problem. Can I
Hush.
share?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I just wanted to
Oh, you
share
can,
something.
baby.
Okay,
Freedom,
well,
real quick. Share this
hush
for me.
until you come back in. 30 seconds. Hush.
Okay.
I ain't got time.
I'm being honest. I'm
That's
being
okay,
honest.
baby. That's okay. I want to see what that's got.
I'm
I'm
just
being
trying to,
honest.
trying to help bro out. So hopefully after I do this source 30 seconds, he can get back in and it won't eject him again. Because I'm really curious about that. And straight smoke, I'm on top. I'm messing with you. I'm giving you these light taps because you really set us up. I was like really looking forward to what you was getting ready to do. So
Okay.
anyway, it says the changing categories. Remember, we're talking about the classification.
Mhm.
So the changing categories the
Mm-hmm.
United States Census has used to measure race, right?
Correct.
right. So this is from the Pew Research Center. Okay. So real quickly, 1790, right? You see where it says Americans were recorded in these race/ethnicity categories on a census form. So 1790, it was free white males, free white females, all other free persons, and then slaves. Those were the three categories. Okay. 2020,
Yep.
white, Black or African American, American Indian or Alaska Native, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Korean, blah, 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 blah. All right. I want to read this paragraph real quick. And it says, the varying ways in which the United States government has counted Americans over time offer a glimpse into the country's past, from the days of slavery to the recent waves of immigration. This sounds very familiar to the first article. Racial categories, which have been included on every U.S. census since the first one in 1790, have changed from decade to decade, reflecting the politics and science of the times. It was not until 1960 that people could select their own race. Okay? Say that again.
Huh?
You better go ahead, girl. You better go ahead, girl.
Go ahead. No, I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Doc. 1960, people were able to conclude and select their own race. Go ahead, Doc.
Work it out, sister.
It was not until 1960 that people could select their own race. Prior to that, an individual's race was determined by census takers, known as enumerators. And it was not until 2000 that Americans could choose more than one quote unquote race to describe themselves, allowing for an estimate of the nation's multiracial population. In 2020, for the first time, the form asks respondents who choose white or Black for their race to give more information about their origins. For example, German, Lebanese, African American, or Somali, right? Then it goes on and it goes, I don't have to read the whole thing, you guys, but it says more than it has for any other group, the United States has revised the way it categorizes people who are racially both Black and white, reflecting the nation's history of slavery and changes in the social and political thinking across time. In the mid-19th century, which would be the 1800s, for example, some race scientists, now that's important, race scientists, okay, y'all, theorized that multiracial children of Black and white parents were genetically inferior and sought statistical evidence in the form of census data to back up their theories. So this goes into that whole out of Africa Darwinism doctrine. This also delves directly into what we were just saying in terms of how we classify ourselves or how we have been classified, right? And it has not been accurate, right? And I always think of what is the intent, right? So when you're collecting data of any kind, what is the reason for it? Who is funding it? What is the intent? What is the goal, right?
Okay.
Because those things matter. Now, straight, I did that on purpose to buy you some more time. Are you ready for your source, bro? Are you ready to share yours? If not,
I can do one better, because exactly what you pulled up pretty much is what I was going to pull up. This is how they separate you from the land. This is how they show you that you are nothing. Seriously, this is how they show you you are nothing. You are not from the land. You are not from the land. You are not from the land. But you can't think of nothing else but the land. You already did what I needed to do. Thank you so much, Dots. Thank you.
okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you,
lovely
Queen.
boy.
Thank
Hey,
you,
boo.
thank you, Queen.
That's
Thank you,
it.
Queen.
Okay.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you,
Okay.
Queen. Thank you, Queen. That's all I can say is thank you, Queen.
Righteous.
I swear.
Right.
That's all I can say is thank you, Queen.
Anybody want to chime in?
Hell no. That's it.
Girly
do.
girl, what do you think, my love bug?
I missed the
love you more,
question.
baby. How you doing, boo? Go ahead. I'm sorry, girly.
I missed the question. I'm sorry.
Well, that's you did a bomb right there, girl.
Yes, she did.
You better go
Yes.
ahead, girl.
God damn.
You knocked a lot of people in the head tonight, Dots. I mean, like, girl, you stood back like New York style and just was hitting.
That was it. I mean, what,
You're funny.
Sister Freedom? What else could you say to that?
I mean, because
And
what
I
Dots
already know what I'm pulling up.
did
What I'm pulling up,
is
and
a
she's
lot.
literally doing the
But I
same
still go
thing.
back to messing with Anton about that. It's just what Dots is saying with the both things she pulled up. When it comes to that invasion, I didn't even know my baby girl had pulled out. When it comes to that
That's hard.
invasion, that's what I said. So now fear, they did what they wanted to do. Once you invade somebody's house, now they can do to you what they want to.
Yeah.
Because look what they did. They did what they
Look
wanted
what they
to.
did. That's it. Look what
They
they
did
did.
what they
I
wanted
mean, come
to.
on.
That's why I keep
Who
coming
is
back
they?
to Anton.
Who is they? Who is they?
Fear,
Freedom. Who is they? There you go with the days. Who's they?
undone. The invaders.
The
That's why when you
invaders.
talk to me, I look right in their face. Say, you know you an invader. I
So we
don't
got to
play
do a
with them.
we got to do a figurative undone. Then, if you're talking about undone, you can't be
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
pale
raw,
skin.
smell funny. But I'm just telling you like it is. You raw and you smell funny. Your hair is fur. I mean, you're not cooked up.
Yeah.
You're not cooked.
You
Okay,
are not
so
clean.
you giving them too much credit then. If they first,
You
you
are
How?
giving them
not
too much
clean.
credit.
You
Raw
are not
meat.
clean.
They smell like raw meat to me. But anyway, I'm gonna
You
say
giving them
that,
Mm-mm.
so
too
I
much
won't say
credit.
nothing else that's rude.
Mm-mm.
So I say what I say because I don't want to say nothing rude.
No, that's
So what
fine.
I'm
Mm.
saying is, if I invade your home, how
Uh,
is it that these people got so much control? It's because
Hold
they,
on
God damn.
Aton. Let her finish her point, and then you can follow right afterwards.
you're like,
Mm.
all I'm saying to him is, how do they have so much control? It's because out of fear, we didn't fight them. They couldn't just take the names from the people that was already on these lands unless we were
Oh shit.
Oh,
afraid.
I do.
They
I
just
believe that
sit.
they could. I think that by and
No, they couldn't.
large,
Come on,
no,
Dulcie.
no, no,
They
no, no.
did it. What do you mean
Come
straight
on.
smoke? What do you
Not.
mean?
No, no. What
They
they
did
Wait,
did,
it.
what I
hold
hold on.
on, y'all. Let's
They
let's
are.
make
Uh,
sure we're taking turns right now. We're not all just jumping out.
I
So
wasn't finished,
I
but
right.
I know. So
I'm
let
sorry,
Sister
Freedom. Go
Freedom
ahead. I'm
finish, and
sorry.
then Aton was gonna follow, and then Girly Girl right after that.
I'm sorry.
okay. What
I
I'm saying
apologize.
in a nutshell is, they did it just like right now they do to us what they want to do to us. You know what I'm saying? And they still doing it, and we don't fight back. They have taken everything from us during the invasion, from our ancestors. I'll say it like that. But even us today, if they choose to call us chocolate tomorrow and name all the dark skinned people chocolate, we have no other choice but to deal with it. We don't have no other choice but to. That's exactly what they did. They invaded your house, took your land, your minerals, your name, your culture, your way of speaking, did all that, and now you don't know who the hell you are. You know who you are, but they try to make you where you don't know who you are.
Hey, Sister Freedom, I can't deal with you no more. You sound too much like OTK.
Well, that's my baby. So I'm just saying. I
Fuck.
hope you understand what I'm saying, Anton. I don't want to come on you real, like fierly hard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that to you.
No, no, no. You can't
I'm
never do
messing
that
with
to me.
you, Anton. I'm
You
messing
can't never do that to me. I mean, hey, I love it. You know what I'm saying?
with
It's
you.
all good.
But I wanted you
Um,
to hear
you
what I
know,
was saying without me sounding crazy. You know what I'm saying?
no,
But
I mean,
Freedom,
you're not.
Anton, not to break your wisdom real quickly though, but Freedom, think about it. And we've talked about this before. In order for in my opinion, any invasion, right, to have been successful, would have happened whether it was in Africa or whether it was here in the Americas. Guess who had to help them? Guess who had to help
Right.
them? People who look just like you and I. Let's be very clear, right?
And in
Let's
this
be clear.
case, you think so?
Oh, I know so.
But the helping dots was the fear. You didn't do anything about it. See, because remember they invaded over here. The
But what
thing
I'm
is,
But
saying is
y'all,
they
we
needed
gotta go
help.
one at a time. So
They would
if
need
we
help.
could
You know what I'm
let
saying?
someone finish as far as it, and then
They would need
the
help.
OTK is actually sharing a thing in the back, but hold on, we're not gonna share it quite yet
Oh,
because
tell them
after
where.
Dots
Oh,
is
go ahead.
Aton, and then Girly Girl, then we're gonna go to OTK's
Go ahead,
source. So
Peyton, you
let's
got it.
have Dots go.
Go
Girl,
ahead,
you got
Dots.
it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dots.
No, I was
You
done.
own
I
you
just
own
wanted to go
something.
at that point.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
own something. Don't stop right there. You own something. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, my love. You got it. Go. I'm being quiet.
Um,
He
the
cleared his
reason why I told you to keep going because that's pretty much what I'm talking about. And I think that's the basis of the problem that we have right now, why the confusion is so large, is because we're giving people too much credit. They did none of that. I would put $1,000 on the table, and with anybody that can show me that they did that.
I got a
That's how confident I am. Now, the thing is, it's all right though. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. This is what they indoctrinated us with. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I was in that place as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I was born in the turn of the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you think about it, that's what was told. We was told to not like being an Indian. We had nothing about an Indian in us. We had nothing but just being born on a ship, and we grew up in on America and on this land, and we should be happy to be here and happy to get what we need to get. So, but now that we know better, and this is the one thing because Dot just touched on it. The only way that was supposed to have happened is only way it did happen is if we helped them. And this is where we got to have accountability of what we've done over the
Exactly.
years.
explain
We
that
got to
though.
we got to have accountability of that because
Right.
once you do that,
Girly
then you
girl, I'm about to lean on you real tough,
then
girly girl.
then you take back the power. Hold on, straight
Wait a
smoke.
minute
You
though,
know what I'm saying?
Anton, are
Hold
you
your
saying
water.
we helped them why? Because we allowed them to marry us? Because remember the story, I'm just bringing this up real quick, fast. Remember the story of Pocahontas, how her father told her not to do X, Y, and Z, and she still did it? Like she still married that undone man, the guy that she married. See, that's how we helped them, was because we allowed them to be with us. They conned us into being with us. That's how we helped them. We
See
didn't
those.
help them willingly. It was somewhat of a manipulation. It was
See
like a
those.
con in a sense.
Freedom. Those stories are fabricated, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell
Girly
you. I'm
girl.
gonna. I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
give you. I'm
hold
gonna give
on.
you a
It's
good.
Anton's turn. Let him explain how that's fabricated.
Yeah, straight
Go ahead,
straight smoke.
Anton.
Hold on. I know you're excited, brother. Hold on a second. I'm gonna give some clarity on this. I'm gonna go straight to my genealogy. I'm gonna go straight to my ancestors. For an example, um, my one of my ancestors was a part of the chiefs of that clan at the time, the Powhatan, and Pocahontas was somewhere in there as a cousin. Now, that person that ended up being a chief was actually somebody that married into the family, as we kind of touched on in a lot of different bills. I know Top Cats touched on it. Is how some of these was coming over here and they was married into the family, and then they was able to come into the chiefdom. Now, these people were melanated. They were not white. WIGHT. They was not. These people were melanated people because I have no white people in my family. Period. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you something even better. My grandfather.
It was from the Powhatans too.
My grandfather in Louisiana in the 1900s, turn of 1900s, was on the census labeled as white. And his wife, who was an East Indian from France, was labeled a Negro. And I'm gonna show that, and it's going and I'm gonna show it one of these days. I'm gonna put it up there because I'm gonna dispel all the narratives because I got it right in my family, and it's right next door. It's my grandparents. You see what I'm saying? So when you get into this narrative of what it is, and my grandfather owed a lot of land, and his wife and her brother was considered to be slaves. But they
They
wasn't
was not.
slaves because I sat in the house. They was
They were
married and
not.
a big family and all that stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were
So
not.
it was a whole hold on straight so you know what I'm saying.
I'm
So the
sorry.
thing is
I'm
that when you
sorry.
get to that when you get to that narrative freedom, that is the main thing. And I'm glad you're saying this and you're
Mm-hmm.
being straight up about how you feel and how you see things. That is the chain that needs to be broken. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
stop right there because I know we got to go
Mm-hmm.
around.
Yeah, so we're gonna go around from Girly, OTK, then Shadow Man.
I am confused, though. I will say that.
Um,
Tell me.
but Anton, weren't we? Were you and I discussing that we both had the Nansemond Indians in our family?
Um, maybe I think so.
Okay, because I would often wonder, like if you listen to A1 Hill always said that, there wasn't any slavery. But the biggest thing that he always says is that what did they have that we could possibly want? And I often think about that because I was like, well, how were they able to come here and then take over? The only thing that I can think of is that, we have a 200-year period of us intermarrying into their marrying into our families. And so now you have grandchildren and you have descendants who are mixed race. Essentially,
Correct.
you have they're European and they're Indian, for lack of a better word, because everybody identified by their chiefdoms. So
Mm-hmm.
you have this situation, and so this is how the because they were very keen on bringing their people over here. If I look in my records, they were saying that the names don't go back in England, Ireland, Scotland, in I guess the UK, that the names don't go back beyond a certain thing, but they were sending the names back. So if somebody came here, then they acquired the name because the names are English, and then those names got sent back and put on their registries. So that's how they're able to trace their and it appears that these names came from England, but these names didn't come from England because before a certain time you don't see them, but they are able to connect all of the descendants that have that name, because and then that's how they're able to come over here and connect themselves to a family and connect themselves to our into the tribes,
Heritage.
because we're at that point they're intermarried, they're interbred, and they've got,
Correct.
and it's a 200-year span of this. I'm looking at it across on my mom and my dad's side. I'm seeing them marry into the families. And so that's to me, that's how they acquired land, and that's how they were able to get in and weasel their way in. And this is how the land starts to be given off, because you
Right.
got, they're sitting in there looking, you got all this land and you have all this property, and time is ticking on. Cities are popping up. It's not like time is waiting for us. It's not. It's moving on. So at this point, you're setting up a homestead and you're in a lineage for people. And that's, to me, that's how the land began to be given out. And you looking around and you've got 300 acres that's gone because the chief gave it away. We got to look inside our own families, because a lot of this was done by the very people that were looking at the line and realizing that was our grandfather. And he was a chief, and he gave away a bunch of the chiefdom's land to foreigners who were now intermarried who were now a part of the family by marriage.
There you go. There's
Girly,
your answer,
girly girl,
freedom.
can I say the quiet part out loud? For real, for real.
Oh, I'm done. Go ahead. You can go ahead. I'm done.
I'm not gonna lie. What it was it was a sellout in some kind of capacity to build what they needed to build and relocate who they need to relocate. That's it. I'm sorry. I don't want to put it like that, but it was to build up what they wanted to build up and relocate who they wanted to relocate. Let's start looking at brass stuff. Let's just start looking at it.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to OTK and your
Hey,
As
hey,
always.
y'all. I got two big rainbows behind me. Two right behind me. They
Damn, I
big
can't
too.
do this. It will not let me pull this up. Why is this?
Peace, OTK. You're on the screen.
Hey, what's happening?
What up,
How you
OTK? What up, brother?
Hey,
chilling, man?
OTK.
Chill. Let's be it. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm up on the screen. Okay. Oh, I didn't know. You don't have to show that yet, Dosey.
Okay, I'll bring it down for now.
I was just showing that as a description of what they call what they saw when they first got here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put it up then. What did they see? Go ahead and go through it for us.
Mm-hmm. Sick way. Sick way.
OTK, is that it? That's your source? Is that what you want to show us?
It's the point of knowing what the source is.
Is that OTK? OTK, is that your source?
You're muted, OTK. Unmute. And then show us. You said it
My
shows
bad.
what
Man,
they
I had
first
a
saw.
phone call. My bad. I had a phone call.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're good.
Yeah.
So you
This
were
is
saying this is about what they saw when they first got here.
over here and Goose Creek, Charleston, what they saw. The Etowah tribe, who I always talk about. You know what I mean? You see the alternate
Mm-hmm.
spelling, was, the Ottawas, the Tawas, or the Etowans. You know what I mean? Which could be Evans, turn into Evans later. You know what I mean? But I ain't even get into that. I'm gonna do that a little later on when I start bringing y'all out these books with these names in it. They're saying they extinct as the Etowah tribe, but the descendants are active today as the Wassamasaw.
Mm-hmm.
Tribe of Barnatown. They're still here today. They're like 10 minutes away from me, 15 minutes away, all the way out to 30 minutes away. And they also converted into the Somerville Indians too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they came from Daniel Island, you know what I mean, out that area in Charleston. Daniel Island, in case people don't know, that's where the family cup circle used to be held at, the tennis tournament, the famous tennis tournament. It's called something else now. It's a different thing now. Moncks Corner, Berkeley, Charleston counties. You know, same county I'm in, Berkeley County. Moncks Corner is not no county. Berkeley County is all of Moncks Corner. Berkeley County is the biggest county in South Carolina. Utah, all the way up to Orangeburg that we go at, you know. 240 people, you know, one village. That's how they used to really travel, like in villages, separate villages. So, in the history of this, in 1670, English settlers who arrived on Daniel Island from Barbados found the Etowah inhabited the area. By 1707, the Etowah had migrated to Goose Creek area. Reverend Francis Dubois described the Etowah as having a deep chestnut color.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can anybody show me what a deep chestnut look like?
Mm-hmm. I'll wait.
I would say it's like a mahogany, how they say a reddish brown.
I'll wait.
Okay.
Like me.
And
Brown
like us,
skin
right? Like
girl,
us, right? Like us,
skin
right?
just like pearls.
Like us, right? Me and you, Nisha.
Brown
It's
skin.
you, not Nisha. You can't have that by yourself now. Oh, this one right here don't have.
I'm saying I'm hustling and I'm grinding. I got my moves on my money in my mind.
As you can
Don't
see,
fall short.
you already know. 1715, the Yamasee War, the Etowans. It was 100 or more soul-free Indians that fought with the English. You know what I mean? So one thing we got to understand, you got the French, you got the English, and you got the Spanish. Once they get to America, dog, they on some different shit. Yeah, they might be up underneath another rule or whatever when they over there in another country. And what's going on over there, that's why Top Cats teaches so much of that history like that. Because what's going on over there affects what's going on over here until we separate it from them. When I say we, I mean the United States. But before then, everything that happened over there was affected by what was happening over here. Because this is
Correct.
over here was producing all the resources they need to fight their wars over there against each other. If y'all go back and look in history during these same times, y'all will see wars going on in England and Spain, all over there, which they've been warring since BC times. You know, I mean,
the cotton, the tobacco, all of that.
All that they
Not
needed.
just that.
Hold up, let's not forget about the gold and the silver. All right, let's not forget about that too. They had gold mines out there in Brazil. They was finding gold mines out there. When they Americans, when they found gold in North America, that's when they say, you know what, it's time to really split off now, because we found these shit in the rivers on our land, which we done ran away from the army because we don't want to fight no more. Me and my homeboys, then we done found some piece of land and we done started building and shit. And in our rivers, we done mess around and found some gold. Now we the shit. So when y'all, like y'all say, man, when y'all studying this history and y'all doing this history and they be acting about spirituality and they be acting about this and that, dog, you can't take one person thought and say, hey, yo, okay, so the Etowah Indians, man, they was dark chestnut. You can't go to Georgia and say, well, okay, they was dark chestnut too, because they say the Indians of South Carolina and they're the southeast. No, you can't do that, because they might have been a little darker going closer to the equator. And then when we going up to North Carolina, they might have been a little lighter going up to where it's cold at.
AOTK.
Go ahead, bro.
Wait 1 second, because we can't have you just jumping in every time. We still got to get to Shadow Band, and Sword just came up.
Yes, Sword.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
I really came up here, man. And shouts out to y'all, my beautiful goddesses. My apologies, thousand pardons. Shouts out to y'all, beautiful goddess, and all the hard work that y'all do. And y'all know I only wish the best for y'all here moving forward too, and every day. Shouts out to the chat and your people in the mods, man. And shouts out to all the people on the panel. My bad, thousand pardons. But I'm really here to answer any questions that anybody got on American Indian history. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah, stay up here. We're just all dialoguing.
No more. I'm gonna start answering questions.
Yeah, and let's keep it light, right? It's a Friday night. Let's keep it light, right? Y'all doing great in the chat. Let's chill out, y'all. Okay. This is I know we love y'all. We rock with y'all, but we're a panel woman. We just ask for y'all just to chill out. It's a Friday night. Do what you got to do, but relax. Life is good. You woke up today. We ain't got to go banging on one another. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
just
we're
want
just
to say that.
Having a conversation. And Shadow Band, I know you're about to go. Yeah. I just wanted to say I did think it was really disingenuous, how they were trying to make it seem like you had said that Italian actor is related to you. I know you didn't say that when you came up on the screen. I saw I think it was your grandparents or great grandparents. They were beautiful. I saw them on the bottom of the brochure. So I just wanted to say that. Peace to you, Shadow Band.
Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not spending that stuff, man. It's like how my dad said, self-check. Every time Reggie opened his mouth, he doesn't know all the disrespectful things that he says about the indigenous people, as if he's the leading authority of what criteria should be followed in describing a people. So
can you say that one more time? Yeah, I'm being a little bit petty. Oh well.
Okay, I just got off a 24-hour shift. I swallowed almost 8 cans of beer before going to sleep. So I just got up, about to recharge and go at it again. That's that native in me, you know what I'm saying? But I think what we're really missing is the overall understanding of the institution of slavery, because you got to look at it from a cultural perspective. And the problem with that is also we living in a time where we think slavery is over. And that's the dangerous part when you have uh, slavery as sex trafficking and slavery as in other forms. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and make it and help it
Hold
make
on,
sense.
Straight Smoke. Please, if you can mute up and it will get to
Ma'am.
you. I do want you to stay on the panel, but just allow it to get to your turn. Okay, Shadow Man.
I'm gonna make it make sense. For instance, we trapped in perspective. Everybody got their own perspective. And then we also have family history. And everybody's family history is the same. And maybe we charge a little bit. So employment, when you do a 9 to 5, that's slavery. Then you gotta think on that. The indigenous people across the world are not punching the clock. Food has already been established by the land. You have fruits, you have vegetation of all sorts. You can make medicine. You have wildlife running around. There is no reason for you to work. You don't even have to buy wood. You had trees, you didn't need permission to cut them down, any way, shape, or form. So this colonialism that we're fighting is the daily lives that we're living. Period. If you're not living the indigenous way, you're a slave. Any way, shape, or form. You go to school, you're being indoctrinated. Period. You're not being educated by your family, you're not being educated by your people in any way, shape, or form, which keep your culture intact. Period. So slavery overall needs to be examined. For instance, why white people call white. If you go back in time and do your research, white, the term white used to mean slave. Not slave, I'm sorry, Muslim. People did not want the title of being white. They were literally shot, killed if they didn't accept that title. So you got to think about 1942, what was going on in that area. I know I'm going on and on. But in 1942, you had the Crusades still going on. What stopped the Crusades was the discovery over here. You know what I'm saying? They said, man, we're going to stop this war, go over there, carve that up. And then the term white was applied to the white slaves to cause fear amongst other people of the same color, so to speak. If you were white, you was Muslim. So the slave masters look at you as if you was a white person, they're like, oh my God, he's a Muslim from the Crusades. So racism was established for a reason. We got to look at how racism is being used and how it was established. All white people didn't come over here as conquerors. They couldn't afford to. You got to think, you got a passage. Then you have all types of ways of coming over here that you got to pay off. Then they end up slaving you any old damn way. Who's gonna protect you once you're over here? You got spirited away. You got all these type of terms that we overlook when it comes to slavery overall, regardless of people. The first slaves that came here were white. Then they put the white people against the black people. So you got white and you got black. How was those terms established and how was it used throughout time? You got to look at the dictionaries. You look at the old dictionaries and you compare it to the new dictionaries. How the word usage changed over time.
We're full, so that's why no one can come up or anything. Sorry, Shadow Band. But can I exonerate you really quick? Do you mind, Shadow Band?
Go ahead.
Because I think what people have is a comprehension problem because they want to prove. Hold on 1 second. They want to prove that they're right no matter what, and people don't. And they want to just argue points and they don't
Well,
want
I'm
to
gonna put up a
actually.
playlist in the
Yeah.
back chat that
Okay.
has YouTube, uh,
I'm not gonna
professors
put it
talking
on.
about it.
I'm just bringing it up to the screen so people can see fully because it has what you brought up on the screen. So I don't have to play it or anything. They can just see it for themselves because what they said is when you were showing your family that you were saying that logo in the middle is your family, but you
No.
clearly defined that it's that gentleman on the bottom. I don't think y'all can see my mouse. That's your great grandfather. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's my great grandfather on the left, my great grandmother on the right, and the little girl in there is my grandfather's mom. Now, if y'all look in that picture, you can see that there's any artists out there, all you artists, those
Yeah.
initials right there. You see, I think it's an H and a C. That's not
Okay.
that
Yeah.
man's name.
I see what
That's
you're
the
talking about.
initials right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the hell they talking about,
Yeah,
man.
so what people tried to do was they tried to say that you didn't say where the members of your family are, and I know they won't correct themselves and say they're wrong because they have a problem with admitting when they're wrong about something. But it was clear that his family members are around on these corners, and that's who he was describing as his family, never the person in the middle, as someone tried to make it seem like he said was his family.
See, here's something. That's the reason why I'm not really going on in this native thing. I have her death certificate. It says American Indian. I have relatives who has American Indian on their birth certificate, living right now. I'm talking to him. We about to have a. I'm trying. See, here's something. Before we get too deep, your family is your tribe. It doesn't matter if you're Pan African. It doesn't matter if you're Native American. They broke up your family. If you put your family together, there's your tribe. Your house is your clan. Your last name is your house. They took away home economics away from the education because what you educated, that's how you live by. You can't take a city person and put them in a rural area, tell them to farm. That'd be a living nightmare. Even though if he has the land, even if you give him the machinery, even if he had cattle, he'll lose his damn mind. People, all that poop he has to clean up, he'll lose his damn mind. We're not raised. All this dirt that we have in our backyard, you drop a seed, you grow a tree, you got fruit. How many fruits, how many seeds y'all throw away on a daily basis? Bell peppers, all that kind of stuff that y'all could be putting in. You could grow potatoes in your basement. They want us to work. They don't want us to grow. They don't want us to protect the land. That's why the natives were getting their ass kicked with that pipeline thing. You go to Africa, you see pipelines above ground, and they destroying up the whole fucking ecosystem over there. I have friends from all over telling me the same thing. We are all going through the same shit. Our people, the women, I've been in the committees and I'm hearing women telling stories how they people gotta, go into prostitution, selling sex to make money. The whole nine. Reservations. Reason why reservations are all messed up. They prostituting and then they coming up missing. Black and missing. We are all going through the same shit.
How can I really turn this all the way around? How can I really turn this all the way around?
Before you begin, I'm just gonna say this one thing, and I'm gonna time out and I'm gonna mute up.
Yeah,
home economics.
Shit, you done been talking for
Bring
a
your
while.
family together.
You talking
That's how you
Because
rebuild your tribe.
it's no way, as we sit here and think we're supposed to be so subpar to not do the best for us.
Facts.
I'm not about to roll with that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just not about to roll with that.
Okay, so
I
what we
believe
doing
that
now?
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on. We don't want to make it a debate. And I don't know, Smoke Signal. What do you mean that you just got a warning? If someone timed out Smoke Signal, make sure you timed him out for a reason. Let's not go through this as far as timing people out because you don't like them or anything like that. If their comments are disrespectful, obviously time them out. But there's no rule that says you don't like someone, so they can't leave a comment, y'all.
Is there anyone waiting in the back to come up?
No, there's 10 people on the panel, so no one can get in the back.
Yeah, so when you're done, if like
I can drop back down, guys.
done,
I'll drop back down into the chat so
drop
Smoke Signal
down.
can come up. I'll drop down.
Or anybody.
Girly girl. What's up, girly girl?
Who said that? Hold on.
King Genocide. King Genocide. Mute your mic up real quick, bro. Mute your mic up. Girly girl, what's happening? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today? OTK?
Tell your mama I said ha ha.
I knew he was gonna do it with his little mannish self.
All right. Can I say something? I'm about to drop down.
Yeah,
I'll come back later.
I'll bring the conversation back to where it was at.
Yeah, because that went somewhere. That's what I'm talking about.
You, Anton.
We need
to OTK.
All right. So the ladies on the panel, King Genocide.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, what's up to the men?
Yes, sir. No, it's okay. Up? Go ahead, bro.
Hey, look, what's up, Straight Smoke? Hey, look, already, yeah. Hey, what was the conversation?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
What was the conversation on? Because I trust me, I got lost.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this. I'll
yeah, go ahead.
I just kind of want to say something to what the brother just said, and I touched on it earlier. It's like we got to take those shackles off. Like that type of conversation we shouldn't be having, because if you are in the right place, then you should be doing something about those things that you got a problem with. And
hey, speak the uncomfortable shit about that topic.
Hold on, brother.
No bullshit. Bring me up. Look, I've been working all day.
King Genocide. King Genocide.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right though.
I'm about to meet up.
You're right.
Stop cursing.
Yeah. Because when we're at this point in time where there's no more excuses, and the thing is that if you're doing something, you get it done. And you stop those things around you, because this is a big world. You only can handle what you can handle, and you can only deal with what you can deal with, and deal with the people that you have around you. Now,
say it one more time.
I don't know. That thing just came straight off the
top
of my head.
No. I need you to say that one more time. OTK, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I need you to say that one more time. Oh, real shit. No. Hold on, bro. I really need my boy. And I respect you. It's this is all due with respect.
We good.
Please, what you said, could you say it one more time? Because this is about people that do real shit. Not some of the time, all the time. Could you repeat that again, sir?
Hey, Straight Smoke. Remember, we ain't on our show neither. I'm up with the man 50 grand. That's my dog. I mean,
yeah, I ain't want to have to say it, but I was about to say it. I ain't want to have to.
You know what I'm saying?
Doty, if you would have hit the link earlier that we sent you to come in the back chat, you would have heard the wonderful news he got. That's why he's feeling like that. Yesterday, if you would have heard, but everything good. I that's my dog, 50 grand. But I got y'all. Everything good. That's my brother.
Man, y'all family, man. Y'all sound
somebody said they're giving out 50
grand.
Let me wait, hold up. Somebody just said that they're giving away 50 grand. Let me find out. Who's giving away 50 grand.
I know that's right. I just came back and I heard.
I don't care about nothing else y'all talking about. Who said they giving 50 grand?
I got two for
down.
50,000.
They don't get it.
When you grab 50,
they don't get it.
Let's talk about the 50 grand.
I got to grab 2 bands at a time. I got 2 to start. I got 2.
Don't play no games. I need
moolah. Look, Freedom woke up. Freedom was like, wait, 50 grand? That's my girl. That's right. That's what everything else. No one cares.
Y'all don't know 50 grand? I know 50 grand.
I know that's right.
You don't play no games either.
Brother Lai, my dear brother Lai, assalamu alaikum.
I'm saying that's what we gotta do. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, my dude. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, listen, hey,
Malaikas
Smoke.
masalam. Let's
Oh,
get it.
Lord,
Straight Smoke.
straight.
Hey, Straight Smoke.
Straight
Straight Smoke.
smoke.
Hold on, brother.
Your salams was
Hold on,
all
y'all.
straight
Y'all,
smoke.
hold on, y'all, real quick. Hey, Straight Smoke, for real. Like on I want you to focus in with me real quick. Listen, when you saying assalamu alaikum to somebody, please don't mess that up or play with that because people take that serious. You know what I mean? I know you wasn't trying to mess it up. I know you feeling good and we feeling good, but please don't mess that up, man. Some people take that serious, brother. Trust me. I live around these people.
Is it possible I can say this?
I know you don't mean no disrespect, but I don't want nobody
Is
to
it
take
possible I can say this?
Well,
Is it possible I can say this?
Can you hold it? Is it something that you have to say right this second? Can you wait your turn to say?
Dulcie?
Yeah,
Dulcie,
wait your turn patiently, brother.
Don't act like we don't bring the
Excuse me, sir.
entertainment. Y'all don't
Hold
act
on.
like we don't bring the entertainment
My
to this.
sister, I'm sorry, my brother OGK and my sister Dulcie asked me if I can reserve. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reserve.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Dulcie.
Okay, now we gotta have level councils. We gotta do
Round
that.
of applause, straight.
That's
All
my
right. You want to? Yes.
And I want to say salam to you, Brother Law, but I don't know if you coming in peace. Peace to you. Peace.
Hey, that's what hey, listen though, for real though.
All right, let him talk. OTK, let
Yeah,
him talk.
let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
OTK, let him talk.
Serious, man. Y'all stop being so serious. We need to get back to our laughter and our humor like how y'all used to do.
There we go. There we go.
OTK, let him get in. Let him get in, OTK. Go ahead, Brother La.
Peace and blessings to everybody on the panel.
Okay.
Everybody going mute.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Straight
Let's get into it.
Straight Smoke, mute your mic. Mute your mic, Straight Smoke. Keep your mic muted, please.
Yes, please.
The purpose and reasoning for me to come on is because of what Dulcinea just did. We're not talking about other people's sources, any of the above. We're talking about what the gentleman said out of his own mouth and what was presented. You just showed the video from House of Consciousness on the screen, didn't press it, didn't do none of that. You just showed it and took it down. That was disingenuous, Dulcinea. Very disingenuous.
Please
hold on. Yeah, please stop, Straight Smoke. And why I didn't see the need to play it is because I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't read people's future, and shadow ban's not in my family. So the fact that I was able to bring the picture up and point to exactly who his great grandfather was and know exactly that those are his grandmothers, I didn't feel the need to have to play it because I just proved that that's what he said. I didn't read his mind to know that. I knew that happened because I was on the panel when that happened and he was showing his grandparents and I understood which ones were his grandparents.
I do apologize, Unscramble Minds. I'm sorry. Please.
All right, can you Straight Smoke? We love you, but you're gonna have to drop down, brother. You're gonna have to drop down.
He is. You are.
Respectfully, can you drop down? Because, like, please, Straight, really,
too much
drop down, please.
Somebody else was trying to come in anyway.
Yeah, people are trying to come in. Please, Straight, we appreciate that.
Peace.
But I honestly, Brother Law, I don't see how that's disingenuous. I feel like that proved the point because I knew who was his family based on I listened to it.
Nothing. In actuality, the person in the show was an actor, and he's not even Indian. He's Italian.
That's not who he showed. He showed his actual people on the bottom on the bottom left-hand side. I said that was his great-grandfather before he said it was his great-grandfather because I listened to him when he said it the first time.
Big deal is though. What's the big deal though, brother?
Yeah, what is the problem? Like, I'm really confused why we even having this conversation.
Yes, me too.
The brother is on the panel. And it's, I don't think we need to play a video. We're not even talking about that. I'm confused as to why we're even having this conversation right now. I'm really confused, like genuinely. Like, what is the problem?
Yeah, maybe you misunderstood something because
I'm confused. I'm over here trying to roll something, and it's like
Like we were having.
I'm trying to listen and
Let Brother Lie explain
concentrate.
himself because he's
Like I don't get
this.
this.
She's talking about people can't comprehend. Don't say them names, because I'll jump on here.
Miss Nicole, come in,
You
baby.
can jump on here. Well, what I said with comprehension
you.
problems is still existing because I brought it up,
But
not
Mr.
because
Cole
you
just wanted
guys
to go on and just-
not because you guys had said anything, but because they had made it out to appear as if he said that Italian guy in the middle was his grandfather when he never said that on the show. What he said was that his great grandfather was on the
He
bottom
never
right.
said it wasn't
His
his
great
family.
grandmother was on the bottom left.
One
But
at a
what this is
time.
what he said on the show when he was presenting it. He said his great grandfather was on the bottom left, his great grandmother was on the bottom right, and the little girl in the picture was his grandmother. And he said that on the show. So I said that I felt like it was really disingenuous for them to make it all about the middle portion of it, which he never mentioned that he was related to them at all. If you look at the brochure, you can see his people are on the brochure. I don't know why they chose that logo. I don't really care why they chose that logo. His people were not the logo. His people were on the bottom and on the top right. And he explained that on the show. And there is a comprehension problem when it comes to people not wanting to listen to what people are saying rather than just argue and say, oh, this. So it was a gotcha moment for some people to be like, look at this person. This person is an actor and all this other stuff. But he never mentioned them as being related to that person in the middle. I don't think most people in the audience even saw his family because they were so focused on the middle.
Bring it back up, Dosey. Just bring it back up for Brother Lie.
No.
That's it.
You gotta
That's all
ask me
you
a
gotta do is
question.
just bring the tape.
No.
Brother Lie, you got a question for me?
It's
This will not be
easy.
an argument or debate. Not
No.
I'm not trying to debate. I'm just saying I'm right here. You gotta ask,
Yeah, the brother
ask
is
me a
right
question.
here.
So, but you can see it. It's right here. You can see it. You can see where his family is. And that's what he was
right
pointing
here,
out
man.
for. It's
You gotta
where
ask
you
me a
can see his
question. Ask me a
family.
question. I'm right here.
See the two people right there in the corner up there. That's who we see.
Those are my grandparents. The image in the middle has its own initials, and that's not even the actor's initials. That's not even the actor's Iron, whatever the fuck. Okay. Indian rights for American.
Watch your language, brother. Watch your language.
Please, no profanity. Big
I'm
sound.
sorry, but it's like I'm standing right here, man. If you want to ask me a question, just talk to me.
Right, I know.
All I'm saying, all
Y'all like
I didn't
talking over
come
my
here.
head or something, man.
All I said is let the video play. That's all I said.
What's so important about the video, man?
Because
I already
the
told you
narrative.
that. Just listen to what I'm telling you. These are
I'm
my
listening to what you're
grandparents.
telling you, and I'm also listening to what was said on the show
It
itself.
doesn't.
brother.
It doesn't matter, man.
We're not doing
All this
Right.
stuff is
It's
irrelevant.
Okay.
We're not doing that.
It's
not.
crazy, man.
This is why
I'm not
I
going to
don't.
argue with you, man.
Yeah, like
All right,
I'm
bro.
confused as an outsider because I don't even
Me
know
too.
what show y'all talking about. But we're doing this right now, respectfully. This is why, and I would say this to anybody: genuinely be careful sharing your business. Right? Be careful about how transparent you are when it comes to your kinfolk. All right, and be prepared if you're going to show it. Be prepared that people, not you, brother Law. I'm not, because if I was, I would just say it to you, and you know that. But this goes to anybody where I've seen this sort of like thing happening where people want to weaponize, right? Where you're sharing something about your genealogy and people will weaponize it, or people will say, well, show me this, show me that. This is why I don't do it, right? Because it gets real serious real fast. We're not talking about that. Shadow ban, you're not on trial. I really don't, respectfully, really don't care like to spend any more time to rehash something that already played on. I think we should stick to what we were just talking about and moving right along. Like, chill out, y'all.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Be nice to each other.
I'm good.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
good. I'm gonna leave it alone. I see it for what it is. I'll just leave it alone.
Thank you.
But
Thank
what
you.
is it though? What you
Appreciate
mean
you.
by that though, brother?
Leave
Lie?
it, freedom.
Nobody is disrespecting you.
Freedom.
Yes.
Let's leave it alone, please.
No, I was replying to what
I know, but I'm just saying, just please.
Okay. Anyway, do you have a question? Did you want to ask Brother La about what we were talking about, or how things end up see, I was gone for a minute, so I don't know where everything left off. I was tending to my grandbaby, so I don't
As
know.
I said, that was a purpose of reasoning for me to jump on.
It was
Um,
misunderstanding. So
I'll, I'll just, I'm gonna leave in peace. I'm
thank
not gonna say a word.
you.
I'm gonna hold my tongue behind my teeth and be still, as I always say. Y'all be good, man.
All right, we'll talk
Unbelievable.
to you tomorrow, whenever.
Peace,
So don't,
brother. Peace.
damn. Anyway, Shadowbound. Am I saying it right? Shadowbound.
Peace.
Thank you for coming up and showing us your grandparents. I've showed my grandparents quite a few times, but I also have to say I agree with what Dots was saying. Because even with me being a Quarles, it has look what it has done to me. My family's name's been disrespected quite a few times. So, you know, it just
Yeah,
is what it
I,
is.
I was hesitant to put up my uh, grandmother's death certificate because I was like, man, I gotta blot out some stuff. Her social security number is on here, all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, man, I was gonna put that up. Then I was like, why am I trying to prove myself to these people?
It,
I'm looking at my own evidence, trying to convince other people who the hell I am.
That's
I
Crazy.
crazy.
don't,
That's crazy.
me personally, Shadowbound, I don't understand what the big deal is. Did
I
you want to
think
say
it's
something,
fair.
Dots?
I think it's fair
Peace
because
to the panel in the chat.
Hi, Miss. I don't know who. Please, I do want to say something, but I'll wait until I think somebody else just hit the panel.
Okay,
And
well,
if to
I
shadow
can
ban
change
and
that
to
after.
genocide, if you guys are done, y'all can drop down in case other people want to come on, please. If you're done.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
But like I said, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna drop out. Your family is your tribe. You don't need to go around looking for anybody. You need to just find some type of way to deal with your crazy family and bring them together and establish something. Peace.
Thank you,
I
Shadow
can dig
Man.
that. I can dig that. Wait a minute, Mufai. Wait a minute. Hey, look, I just wanted to say no disrespect to the brother that was on the panel.
Don't
I
bring it back
wasn't trying
up.
to. I wasn't
Don't.
trying to, you know what I'm saying, get at him like in no disrespectful way. I was just telling him not to come at the brother family though, because you don't know what pictures he's showing. You feel what I'm saying? And I did not see the live stream, so I don't know what was showed. But at the same time, the way that he got on this chat, that wasn't cool, because that's exactly why I've been showing my granny now. Because motherfuckers telling me that my obituary is fake. That's crazy. How can I was here when my granny died? You feel what I'm saying? I done been to Alabama. I done been from the east to the west coast, so it's kind of different for somebody that don't know they people, ain't did no genealogy, don't even care if they granny told them something. Don't get in these chats, man, and start disrespecting the people that's, you know what I'm saying, up here trying to present something, because it is a lot of people that's trying to learn that don't know, and we are being awakened. So don't try to put somebody back to sleep with, oh, he lying and all that, and then there's people saying that he not, and I don't know. So I'm just telling the brother, man, look, no disrespect, and I'm gonna jump right back down humbly, you feel me, and get back in the chat like I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mister Who Did It.
I
And
appreciate that.
I think that is a problem, because they do seek to weaponize it, because this is a war to them. This is a gang banging over the information. So just like how the Quarrels has been weaponized, how his great grandparents and grandmother was weaponized into something he never even said. And that's why I haven't like completely divulged all details of mine, because just the little details I go in mine, it's always going to be weaponized. And I think that's what I was saying. Not that people can't read for themselves or people can't understand, but when you come to a point where you're just trying to argue, it's like a couple arguing. You're not really listening to understand where the other person is coming from. You're upset, you're mad. It's a war at that time. So it's like, no, you need to understand me. I don't need to understand you. And that's a lot what happens in this community, in this conversation, that people aren't even listening to understand what someone is saying. They're just waiting for that gotcha moment. I got you. You said this person was your grandfather and I can prove it's someone else. And it's like, yeah, you missed the mark on that, because that's not what was said.
Right. A lot of times people just want to hear their own self talk. You know what I'm saying? And don't be saying nothing
Hello.
no different than
Hello.
nobody else. and it's so sickening. I mean, people
You're
act
right.
like people are getting on their nerves when they just want to hear their own self talk. They getting on their own goddamn nerves. You know what I'm saying? It's just sickening. It's just I don't even know what the argument's all about, to be honest with you. I just I
Oh
don't.
no, it was just that Shadow Band had
No, no,
showed.
no. I'm talking about the whole in general situation. I don't know I don't know how the Pan Africans became enemies with people, um, that are stating that their grandmothers said that they were Indian. I don't understand that. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. So please, Brother Law, I'm definitely not talking about you because you came up here. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general with the whole situation. And I've noticed people's attitudes. I don't know what the problem is. I don't even know how this is an argument. Because everybody will admit that their grandmother told them that or their
Right.
grandfather told them that. And then talk down about the situation. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And
Well, you
it's
know what, Freedom?
because
You know,
they don't feel like that about us. We
you know
feel
what?
like we want to bow to Africa in a sense. And
You
they
know,
don't feel the same way about us. Actually look like we beneath them.
well, I mean, to me, it's minuscule. Like these type of things that happen that are being discussed is kind of minuscule, meaning that it's a small percentage of that going on. Now, when you get into the real field of debates and conversations about these things, it's pretty much it's a political thing or it's a fanatic type of thing. Because what I would say is that like that thing, simple thing right there with Shadow Band and what Dulcinea showed is like when you just have selective views or you got selective hearing and you just said, okay, I'm gonna pick out that big picture of that actor right there. I'm gonna push all that to the side and I'm just gonna create a bunch of rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I'm a gaslight this thing. You see what I'm saying? That's just what I seen. See, when you get into that point, then you know that the people on the other side that you're talking to has no qualifications and really has pretty much nothing that I need to even have a conversation with you about because you're picking one thing and you're not even going to let me clear out and explain what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? It,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a whole different thing. Now, for me, I would show. I could show my father's my father's mother's side of the family how they went all the way through out into Canada, back into the Canary Islands, and up into Europe. Never touched foot in Africa.
And
Never.
guess what? They can too, though, Anton.
I
They
know
can
they can.
do their genealogy.
Exactly.
And everything that you're seeing right now, Brother La says, we just want the truth. And it could have been shown without anyone saying a word. You know what, Brother La? Here's what I'm going to say to that. Exactly what Anton's saying right now, we could do it too. Everybody can show their family genealogy.
Well, they seen my granny, Sister
So
Freedom. I'm
it
talking
could
about
have
like boss fight
happened.
and all that. Man, we out here. I don't know if they thought we was lost, dumb, or stupid.
Wait a minute, I
I
don't
don't know
know who
what they
Mr.
thought.
Cole's talking to. Mr. Cole, let me drop the link in case you want to say something. But the thing is that anybody can do that. If they can find people in their
Not
family that
everybody, Sister Freedom. A lot of people was orphans and don't have a mama or came from,
okay,
different
I
backgrounds.
understand that. I
But
can't
at the same time, though, you should be able to look into that. You should want to look into that. Especially the conversations that we having is people that's on here saying all kind of disrespectful things about people that's being open. You feel what I'm saying? They'll show you their granny, and then you will tell them that that's fake genealogy, bro. That's out of pocket. That's like kind of disrespectful. The
Yeah.
dude just was on there saying Top Key did research on Top Cat Granny. I'm like, bro, that's
What
all the way
was
out.
that? Oh, I must have missed a
But
lot.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
even
was
know his
the
name.
same.
I'm
Yeah,
not trying. Yeah, I'm not trying to do it on the panel. I'm just saying
But
it's
see, but
very
yeah,
disrespectful for somebody.
But you know what? Whatever
but
happened on another channel, we can just leave that where it is over there.
Right,
right,
right, right. That's
right.
what I'm saying. I'm not
We're
trying to.
just saying,
But
let's not
what I'm
show
saying
that
is this:
video. We don't need to
this is
get
a
into
community,
that.
right? This is a. It's not just y'all. It's you, AB, AP. Top Cat, Dane. It's a lot. The whole unscrambled mind should understand
Unscramble
exactly what I'm
mind.
saying. And these people are being disrespectful and disingenuous, if you want to put it like that, because you can't say nothing to me if I know 3 generations back and you only know one granny.
Right.
You ain't even trying to
Right.
find out who you are, and I know who I am. I know what I've been told, and I'm coming on here telling people, and you trying to make me look bad, or you trying to sh- look funny in the chat, or I don't know what they whole deal is about it, but it's real hate though. And it don't matter if you a Pan African or you or whatever you are. That nigga, that's hate. Motherfuckers is
Nah,
hating on niggas, man.
I'm a share.
Don't cuss,
You
please,
gotta
please
stop.
Oh,
Let
don't.
me
my bad, my
let me
bad.
let me let me let
My
me
bad.
give him a perspective. Let me talk to the brother, man to man. Let me give you a
And then
perspective
let Miss
about
Nicole
this.
in, and then I want to say something, okay?
Okay, let me go ahead because I just want to talk to the brother. He's full of fire, right? And
Hi,
Oh
here's the
yeah, I'm
Nicole.
built like that.
and here's the thing about it, and it's a great thing. But when you dealing with opposition, right? I mean, you got to play check. You can't play checkers, and you can't be emotional about it. You got to be
No,
solid.
but
You
he
got to
not a
be
op.
grounded.
I don't know the
I
man.
no 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 no. You got
One
to
at a
hear me
time,
out.
please.
Yeah, hear me out. No, he good. He good. Right? You got to hear me out though, because when you're dealing with this small, minuscule platform, it might seem big, but it's really not. But if you put yourself out there to be scrutinized, that's what you're gonna get. You put your granny out there, they gonna scrutinize your granny. That's just how they work. So if you don't want to get involved in that situation, don't get involved. That's the bottom line, and you won't have to go there. If somebody's gonna put themselves out there to be scrutinized, then they will do that. If I put my mother out there, if I put my granny out there, or my family out there, and
I
I
did
say
that.
this and say that, then somebody else is going to come back and say no because they on the opposition. They on the
No,
opposite
ain't
side.
nobody said no yet. What they was saying is I put my obituaries out there and they was saying like, oh yeah, she's hella old. Like, man, y'all putting out fake genealogy. How is this? And this is my granny
Right.
that I know. This is my
That's screwed. That's
grandmother's grand.
that's what I
This is
mean
her
by
mother.
scrutiny. That's what I mean by scrutiny. I'm just trying to give it to you from
But
a
I
different
know her.
perspective.
She
You know
I've
what I'm
been to her
saying?
house. We still
No,
go
no,
to
no.
Alabama peacefully. That
See, but this is what you don't understand, brother. It's not even about that. That's the draw. That's the lay
It's
for
the
the
hate
play,
to me that
homeboy.
they have
so what the
today.
fuck is it about? I mean, my
Come
bad.
on,
So
It's
what is it
hate.
about?
It's
It's
hate. Like you said, it's hate.
That's
I
the
agree.
It's not
underplay for the overplay. Come on now. I know we
exactly. They
But
don't
what I'm
care.
saying
They
is
don't
we
care
all
if you were
men,
right.
we all grown
They're
men
gonna
and
be
women here, bro.
disingenuous. They're gonna
We all
say,
Yeah.
grown
"Oh,
men and women.
that's
So
not
I don't
your."
understand that. It's like that's
But
crazy. That's like saying your kids ain't your kids. And you didn't raise these kids and all that. If you didn't choose to go get a DNA test, that's on you. And you know you can do that. But if you raise this kid as your kid, that's your kid.
Right.
You
all is
understand?
fair in war, and that's how they
That's right.
view it. They view it as if this is war against us. Like,
That's
and
right.
you have to view it like that. And if you do, like Aton is saying, come forward with your family. Be prepared for your
Be
family to
prepared.
be scrutinized. Be prepared for them to lie, to cheat, to steal, because it's war.
But see, I know what
And
my family did. I did the
I
research.
know, and they know
And
it,
we
but it
do.
doesn't
Right.
matter. It
My
doesn't matter
grandmother
that
is
they
an
know
Eastern
it,
Star.
and you don't
Then
have to
that's
convince
just for the
us.
record though. My
Yeah, I
granny
know,
is
but
my people
Miss,
is tapped in. But at the same time, that don't
Let
matter
her
if
finish,
you
bro.
ain't
Let
tapped
her
in.
finish.
They gotta be
Hold on,
tapped in
Mister, who
themselves.
did it? Because you're
Bro, let her
speaking to the
finish.
choir. We understand what you're saying is the
Yeah.
truth. You're not proving it to us that it's the truth.
No,
We
I'm
know it's
just
the
saying
truth,
Okay, so how
to the
but
would you?
I'm
men.
saying there's no proving it to them. Those people that say your obituary is fake, there's no proving it to them because they know it's real.
Right.
But it's war. So what do they have to do? They got to convince the other people that it's fake.
It's
They
I'm
got to
like
glad you
convince
said
the
that
in
though.
this.
high
I'm
school,
glad you
ranking on
said it.
people and all of
Doty,
that.
I'm glad you said it because now that could be talked about in the chat because a lot of people scared to get on these panels and say their real feelings. You will get in the chat and say something, but won't get on this panel and say it. This is my
Right.
third time, I think, getting on one of these platforms. Man, I got 10 kids. Man, I'm not playing with no. Hold on. Hold up. My
All
baby
right. You
calling.
know what? Can you mute up
Yeah.
for us, bro, and let Miss Nicole in? Hi, Miss Nicole.
Hey,
Hi.
Miss
Hi.
Nicole, how you?
Hello, everybody. Hello to the panel. First of all, let me say this. I
Mhm.
don't care what anybody calls themselves. That's number one. You
Okay.
could be whoever you want to be. Number two, I have also said that my grandfather on my father's side was Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not up here
I heard
with this,
you say
oh, I have anything against Pan Africans or Native American, Indigenous, Abo, or whatever you want to call yourself. But going back to the initial thing, when I saw that program that Shadow Band was on, I watched it and I
that.
was like, wow, okay, he's showing his family this, that, whatever. So truthfully, that picture in the middle, I had no idea was of some actor. I'm thinking that is his family because he never said, this is a logo, here's my family, this, that, and that. I look at it like this. If I'm showing my grandfather was Cherokee, he would be the whole picture. There would be no mistake. There would be no reason for anybody to miscomprehend anything, which I didn't miscomprehend anything, Dulcinea. What I'm saying is that's why I said run the tape. He never said anything about the picture in the middle not being his family. So that's all I said was that picture. That's all I said. I don't care what he calls himself, but that picture in the middle, the man is not even Native American. He's Italian. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying.
That's
But
what
at the
I'm
end of the
saying
day,
is
you can
the
be whatever you want to be. I'm not. I don't have a comprehension problem. Dulcinea. That pissed me off. You was being disingenuous, and like I said, at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody call himself because there's 6 people on the panel, 8. A white man will see all of us and say all 8 of us are niggas. At the end of the day, what we doing about that?
But wait a minute. At the same time, I'm trying to figure out why you took that person like she was talking about you.
Because she was. Because I said something in the chat. So when somebody, I think I will call somebody out. I be on these panels, I be on these chats, I be quiet, this, that, whatever. But if I feel like somebody's calling me, I stand 10 toes down and I will get on. But I'm saying this is what when I saw him on that other channel and he presented that picture, he never said anything about the man in the middle was not related to him. And again, that's the biggest picture on that pamphlet. If that was my family, that would be
hold
my
on, Sister
grandfather.
Freedom. Exactly, because I know that what you're getting into, and that's the same point that I'm getting into, and it's not an individual comprehension problem. It's a comprehension problem, like I said, that is communal. It's happening amongst a lot of people because you don't have to point out that the icon in the middle is not your family. If it was his family, he would have said the icon in the middle is his family. But what happened was while he was talking about his family, which was on the bottom and on the top, as far as it explaining who they were, people were focused on the middle. Now, I can't say for me, the obituaries, anything I have for my family, yeah, that the picture is all them. They take up the whole brochure. But that wasn't something that I did. That's something that his family did, and I don't think it's wrong or anything. But it is called a comprehension thing.
No,
When
it's
it
not.
is that,
It's
yes,
called
it
being
is.
disingenuous
Hold
if you're
on, Miss
trying to paint
Nicole.
that
Hold on, Miss
picture.
Nicole. Hold on, Miss Nicole. Because it was a logo in the middle that he never addressed, like you said. He never addressed it. So it means that everybody who assumed that that was his family, it wasn't based on something that he said. You guys just assumed it. But he
And he
never
never
said
said
that
it
person
wasn't his
anymore
family.
because he said who was his family. He was going over it
When
the
he
whole
first
time
came
of who
on,
was
he
his
said, this is a
family.
picture of
And
my family. That's what he
no,
first said.
he
I watched
explained
it.
who
That's
was
why
the
I said
great
run the tape,
grandfather.
Dulcinea.
Miss Nicole, he explained who his great grandfather was. That's how I knew who the great grandfather was. He explained who his great grandmother was in the picture. That's how I knew who his
You're not
great
telling the
grandmother
truth.
was. And he said who the girl was in the picture, that it was his grandmother. He said that outwardly on the panel. He said that.
I'm telling you, this is a
I
misunderstanding.
didn't see. Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I'm gonna go watch it again. You know, we all need to
I
view it.
don't
So
even see why this is
yeah,
Just
I'm
go
going to
watch
go
it.
watch that again. But on the
And like I
real,
said, at the end
I
of the
didn't see
day,
that.
I
I
don't
just
care
seen
what
them
anybody
say
call
he
themselves.
showed don't let him show no fake pictures, and that was out of pocket. Like, what you mean show fake pictures, bro? He ain't. Man, he just up here talking right now, and what you doing in the chat, it ain't matching what's going on here, bro. Don't come up in here acting like you from another tribe, because that's exactly what it felt like. They calling it pan, goopy
Oh
pan,
my
whatever.
God,
Just
let's
look,
not
don't
argue.
do
I
that
don't
though.
want the argument. Leave the
And yeah,
negativity.
Mr. Who did it? I get what you're saying, and we won't argue about it. The facts of the matter
Yeah.
is, I knew exactly who his grandparents were. I knew what was said. I never talked to Shadow Band outside of that broadcast. I knew it because he said it on the broadcast. So
Okay,
anyone
so
that
he had
feels like
everybody else
Respect,
miss.
Miss Nicole,
respect, and
I
I,
am
I
talking.
appreciate you clearing that up, though,
I don't
Sinead. I
So
appreciate you.
anyone that is confused about it can go back to the broadcast. It's the one with Chief Ali that he came and did the interview, and it's at the end. The shadow band comes on and shows it, and you can see it for yourself. I did not know those things before that show. I knew it because he said it on the show. I get it that the logo was bigger than everything else, but he never said that the logo was his family. It's other people that ran with it after the show that people are capping for right now because they ran with it to be like it's a gotcha moment. I got it. I found who this person was, and everybody was like, "Woo! See, look at them. They're so disingenuous. They're always making up stuff." When he never said that he was related to that person at all. And whether you don't like it to be called comprehension problem, okay, then it's a confusion problem. It's
On your
whatever
part.
kind of confusion. No, it's not on my part because
Yes,
I
it
knew
is.
who the great grandfather was. You
No,
didn't.
let's skip it.
I
Okay,
knew who the
Dulcinea.
great grandfather was. You didn't. I knew who the
Okay,
great grandmother was. You
I doubt
didn't.
that.
I knew who his grandmother was. You
Dulcinea,
didn't.
I'm not
So
here
it's
trying
not
to
a
argue with you.
confusion
Like at the end
problem
of the
on
day,
me.
I don't care what anybody calls themselves, but all I'm saying is when he was on that program, even when he came back, everybody on the program called him out about that picture. So did we all get it wrong?
That
Did we
Yes.
all misunderstand?
Yes. You all got it wrong.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
and he,
Dulcinea.
but hey,
It was
just to be right for the
misunderstood.
sister
Listen,
though, on the real though, somebody should have spoke up on that though.
Mr. Who
Somebody
did
should
it?
have
Can I
said something
please speak?
about that and got on the panel then.
They
Like,
did
hey,
say
who is this
something. They
person
did
right
say
here?
something when
I
he
was
came back
blocked.
on and he got off. They did.
Okay,
They
but
called him
People
out and
This
he
did
is
got off.
appreciate him, but I was blocked.
Miss
So
Nicole,
it's not
when you
about
guys are
going on
our
the panel or doing
grandparents
anything.
is his.
That's
Well,
why
look, the
I
brother
said
Dulcinea.
man, he ain't
that's
said
why I
nothing out
said
of
it to
pocket,
him
man. And
directly.
now that
That's
we getting it
You,
right, it's
you
not a
got to be
big thing.
quiet
It's not a
for a
big
second,
thing at
Mr.
all.
Who did it? Mr. Who did it? Listen, Miss Nicole, I don't want you to personally take this and think it's something pertaining to you. It wasn't. It was what she said he did. He actually did. That was, you can tell that was a pamphlet. That's just the picture that was on the pamphlet. He said, "These are my grandparents." He pointed who his grandparents were on that picture. The people just took it and they just like, "Oh, that's this, that, and another." Before the man could even really get finished, they was already on the middle picture. They didn't even really was
thank you.
hearing him. So that's what she was saying. She wasn't like directing it to you. I think you just misunderstood that. So, we're not
I
going to
think some
argue that.
people are just feeling like the shoe fits.
No, we're not going to argue. Y'all, we're not going to do that.
I'm not gonna argue. I know how I feel. I know what was said. People can go back and just watch the tape themselves. That's
But
it.
you can too, and you'll see that's what exactly what happened. You'll see the
I
crowd
watched it.
going crazy. I was looking at it too, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I know
You
what the
watched both of them?
what you mean, both of them.
That's what I'm saying. He was on there twice. Did you see
Yeah,
both of
Yeah,
them?
I seen both of them. And
Okay.
the second time he was trying to say that he
He
never
was trying
said
to.
that was his grandfather, and they muted him. They put him in the back. They would not let him speak, and they said, "You said that this was your grandfather," and didn't let him get a word in edgewise.
Right.
That's
So
not what happened. Go watch the tape, people.
it's
That's
not.
all I'm
That
saying.
is what
My
But
happened.
I
grandparents
but I
are
thank you ladies
part
for letting me
of
join the panel. I said my piece, and like at the end of the day, I don't care what you call yourselves with whatever. I respect that. But again, if you're showing something, I'm looking at it to learn from it, and I'm looking at it to respect it, like this is what it is. But if it's not that, then you got to call it out for if it's not that. Point blank.
I'm confused about that last statement, but it's all
So
good. It
we
is
just
what it
spent a lot of
is.
time on another show about something that happened on another show.
Yeah,
And
why
can we
we
move
arguing about
along? Like,
it?
can we please, y'all? Let's.
Yeah.
So getting back to what, Lord, you know what? I need a minute. Okay.
You
I
don't
wanted
need
to
to
show
do
this when I'm
anything.
gonna come back in a minute, and I want to go over this. Okay, y'all. So I don't mean to interrupt, but I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay. Miss Nicole, please, let's not do this to each other. Robin! And
Don't
what
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Freedom,
Don't do it.
don't
Don't
do
do it.
it.
Don't do it.
I
All
didn't
right.
do nothing.
Anybody can go back and play the tape for yourself. I said where you can find it. You can go and play the tape, and you'll see him
Let
talk
me drop
about
the
it.
thing so Sokka say whatever he gotta say. For real. Because I don't see where it's an argument or a problem. I really don't know why we arguing about it. It's his grandparents, not ours. So I dropped
Right,
it.
and that's the main part, because that's the part that I don't understand why people aren't getting. How did I know? So please tell me I have superpowers. Let me know. How did I know? How did I know who his grandparents were? How did I know?
The argument God today. What am I lying about though? I'm confused. He was trying to explain it, and the chat was just like going
But
crazy.
make sure y'all stamp me, so when I take these calls from people, when I say it's Miss Dulce, call me now. Make sure y'all
I don't know what I
stamp
did.
it that I know stuff that before
But if
anyone
it was
even says it.
but here's what I'm saying: if it's a misunderstanding, why are we gonna get into an argument about it? It ain't our grandparents. And the thing is I don't know. He said Robin and spelt my name wrong.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what he
so
was
I would
giving
like
on the
to
HC
share.
What
part.
the big deal is?
Are we
I
gonna
think
move
that's
on,
what he
y'all?
was. Yeah, I
Are
wanted
we
to
gonna
just
like
say
move
on
this?
the HC part. I think that's what he was explaining about the HC part, because the HC is not the initials of that man that they're pointing out that they used as the icon. The HC is actually the initials of his great grandfather that was in the bottom right corner. So I've had my dad has made like different logos and stuff, but not like that. We did like a tree for the family reunion, and we all had shirts and stuff like that. And he drew out the tree and stuff like that. So I am familiar with families doing that, like brochures, shirts, different things with different logos that they just make up for the time.
Oh my God. I'm really okay. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let me stop this screen real quick. And I'm gonna take a few minutes and I'm gonna walk my little happy behind away and breathe and come back, right? Because I'm really irritated. I am really, really irritated. Sonetta, the link is in the chat. Feel free to hit it. Okay. Why are you talking about my shit, Dulcie? You're taking shots and saying I was muting this lying nigga. So this is right. So feel free to hit the links out because I don't even know what that's about. But I'm really becoming irritated. Now y'all can take y'all Pan-African foolish behind somewhere else and get out of this chat, or y'all can chill out. We were just having a good conversation, whether or not any one of y'all agree or disagree. No one cares. Take that to y'all shit. And like on some, this is why, listen, this is why I said before, right? That the streets weren't made for everybody. That's why a sidewalk was made. Find your lane, stay in it. We don't have to, I don't want to, this is why I say I don't want to be a part of everybody. I don't see myself as, because you're melanated, I don't consider you my kinfolk. I do not. It's the person that look just like me that if given 2 seconds will chop my head off.
That exchange was interesting right there. That was interesting. Miss
So
Nicole?
I choose, right, to continue my little happy, blessed life in my lane and keep it moving. I don't want to coexist with many of y'all because you're weird. And I'm getting sick and tired of you men that be coming in here doing this shit, man. I'm gonna take I need a minute, and I'm gonna be quiet.
Well, let me go from there because like I'm you guys don't know me that well personally. I'm no nonsense. I don't play no games. I've seen a lot. Games get people hurt. And I've listened to a lot of channels, and I'm talking about on all different sides of the spectrum. I got partners from Africa. I got partners from the Caribbean. I got partners from New York, Philly, Texas, Oklahoma, Florida. We all different, but we got one common understanding. And that common understanding is why we good. Is that we do what? Stay in our own lanes. We know what lanes to cross. We know what lanes not to cross. And when you get into that situation where you crossing lanes and then you're picking something to be able to be right, that's to me it's a little different. I mean, I ain't gonna say no ad hominems or anything like that, but it's a little different for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have debates with people almost every other day about things that you hear on YouTube, but the conversation is totally different. It's different because at the end of the day, yeah, we might get mad, we might get busy, and the conversation get heated. No fisticuffs, no calling your mama out of name, not saying your mama ain't this or your daddy ain't that or your sister's this. That's not about that. That's not coming out of that conversation, and it definitely ain't no homosexual type talk, no B words, no calling out the name because you're getting fired on. See, this is the thing I'm confused about what's actually going on in this thing that's happening. Because I ain't gonna even call it a conscious community. I ain't gonna call it nothing but this thing. Because people really not understanding that if somebody that's really real about this, that's pretty much well-rounded, such as myself, they can give it to you however you want it. And I hear this type of talk, I'm like, are they serious? You can't be serious. You mentioning genealogy, you mentioning Pan-Africanism, you mentioning some powerful stuff that really put an impression on our people. And then you coming in, you laughing, and then you calling people out of their name, then you talking about some whole stuff, or you talk about this and that and that and this and that and that. That's kind of psychopathic right there. That's kind of like bipolar 5150 type. And this is what I'm confused about, because Miss Nicole first came up there and said, I don't care what you call yourself, but, and then it became a whole argument. You know what I'm saying? And and that's what I see a lot. And it's on both ends. It's all across the board. That people are really like the brother that was just on that was hype. He's really serious about his family. He's really serious about his heritage because he came into the knowledge. Some people ain't playing about that. And people are taking that for an advantage and turning it out to be a joke. It's not a joke. I mean, I understand, Dots. You hot. You upset. I mean, but at the end of the day, it don't hold a can of paint to me. None of this stuff hold water to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. None of this stuff hold water. I don't see nobody doing nothing in the streets. I don't see nobody getting busy, nobody problem solving, nobody doing any solutions. I invite anybody to show me what you have done to help your people. Not your Indian people, not your African people, not your black people, your people. You see? And that type of stuff right there, it just took Freedom's initial question, into a whole nother ballpark. And it went wild and crazy. This is where people got to have some type of discipline. And this is where I say the discipline ain't there. I don't see none of these people with discipline. And a lot of people don't know, some of these older cats have been in this game for a long time, and they know exactly what they're doing when they trying to get you out of your skeleton. They know what they're doing. That's why I was trying to tell the brother, the light for the play is there. They're not saying you wrong. They just trying to make you come out of your skeleton and get you in an emotional position, because they have been instructed not to tell you that you're right.
Facts, A-Time.
Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying facts to you. Dots is going after you whenever she's ready.
Yeah. I pulled so this is the source that I had already showed earlier when we started talking about this, right? And for those of you guys who are just coming in or maybe didn't see it, I just want to show it again, right? Because we were talking about how classifications have changed, over time and the reasons, and we were unpacking some of that. So I just wanted to reshare this so that we can continue on having our great discussion that we were having. Okay, so as you guys can see, okay, this was a census. This is how it looked in the 1790s, right? So it says 1790 Americans were recorded in these race ethnicity categories on a census form. And in 1790, free white males, free white females, all other free persons, and then slaves. That was the 1790s, right? Those were the pretty much racial categories, if you will, that was on the census form. And then in 2020, as you see, it says white, Black or African American, American Indian, or Alaska Native, and then it goes down with other ethnicities like the Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Korean, blah, blah, blah. What I didn't show, but I thought it was interesting, and I'm curious to see what you guys think of this. That's on the panel. And OTK might like this, right? But it says that, hold on, y'all. Nope, that's not the one I wanted to show. Right, okay. So it says that the nation's first census was a count of the U.S. population as of August 2nd, 1790. U.S. Marshals and their assistants were supposed to visit each U.S. household and record the name of the head of household and the number of free white males. And at the top of it, it says on this image, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, it's kind of hard to see, but it says the return for South Carolina having been made since the foregoing schedule was originally printed, the whole enumeration is here given complete, right? And it talks about the Northwestern territories, of which it has yet to be published, okay? And then it shows the different districts. It says New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, X, Y, and Z. It also talks about, it's hard for you guys to see it in here, but this is pretty much how the census looked initially. So we know that there's a lot of people that weren't counted, and of course it wasn't counted accurately, right? So there's like a lot of gaps in this, okay? What do you guys think of that? Anton in particular, right? What does me re-showing this, what are some of the gaps, and how has that, what kind of effect has that had on us today when we're talking about how we racially identify?
Like I said, okay, let me give it to you from like how my mom told me, right? Basically, like her family grew up in Seminole County, Kanawha. Once her great grandmother and her great uncle were forced out of Seminole County when they started taking over the places, they moved them into Chickasha, Oklahoma. Once that happened, not too long after that, that's when they turned Oklahoma into a state. Then that's when all them the pale skins didn't come into Oklahoma until like 1940 something. 40, my mom, 1950 something, because my mom was in the 10th grade. And she said they had to start going to school with white people. Just quote unquote, my bad, quote unquote. And that was the first time they ever seen them. They didn't exist.
Right. And
they didn't
you could
exist.
actually, right. And in here, you can, it explains that you can actually, you self-identify. It says it was not until the 1960s that people could select their own race. Prior to that, an individual's race was determined by census takers known as enumerators, right? And it was not until 2000 that Americans can choose more than one race to describe themselves, allowing for an estimate of the nation's multiracial population, right? And then in 2020, for the very first time, the form asks respondents who choose white or black for their race to give more information. And if you when I click on this hyperlink, Freedom, I don't know, to your point, let me click on this hyperlink, right? And it says, what does the census call us, right? This is an article from February 6, 2020 from the Pew Research Center. It says, explore the different race, ethnicity, and origin categories used in the United States decennial census from the first one in 1790, like we just said, to the latest count in 2020. The category names often changed in a reflection of current politics, science, and public attitudes. For example, quote unquote, colored became black, with Negro and African American added later. I'll say that again. For example, quote unquote, colored became quote unquote black, with Negro and African American added later. The term Negro was dropped for the 2020 census, right? Through 1950, census takers commonly determined the race of the people they counted. I'm going to say that again. Through 1950, census takers commonly determined the race of the people they counted. So the people themselves didn't identify, the census takers identified who they were. From 1960 on, Americans could choose their own race. Okay. Starting in 2000, Americans could include themselves in more than one racial category. And before that, many multiracial people were counted in only one racial category. Now, for those of us who listen, I think we are all intelligent on here, but I think that you can kind of form your own sort of understanding with this, right? That there's a lot of gaps in here, that
Right.
labels and misnomers have changed over time. And it makes me think, why is there such an emotional attachment to labels, right, that don't really describe who you are, or doesn't
Well,
describe your lineage, doesn't describe your bloodline, right? We
yeah,
keep saying
this,
that.
yeah,
Why
this,
hold
see,
on to something so firmly when that shit is not even yours?
well, the thing is that, the incorporation of everything or the enfranchisement, because you got to understand, United States is a business. And what they were trying to do, it was more important. It had to more deal with the undone people than it had to deal with us. It affected us later. For them, they had to find a way to get them immigrants that was coming on Ellis Island and coming into all these other places on the shores, on the ports that they were bringing in here to occupy this territory or this land. Now, it had to give them an opportunity to have some type of status on this land because they had none. They didn't even have a language. They didn't have no language. They had nothing, no ethics, no culture, no nothing. Everything they do is from us. And the thing is that whole issue, and this has to be like a whole presentation type of thing to where you can actually see it, to where when they came in and then how they got established and then how they was able to take on our names and then be able to incorporate themselves into being Americans. Because if you actually look at some of these people and you see them on TV, they say it. They're like first and second generation Americans. And mostly they would call themselves United States citizens. They are the citizens. We're not citizens. We've never been citizens. And that's a whole nother bill. But this is the thing. Now, what happened was with the Civil Rights Act and all that civil rights movement, all that stuff, and that them not wanting to, people saying we wanted to integrate. And that's where you get the whole lay for the play then is where you have white bathrooms, colored bathrooms, white water
Girly girl,
fountains.
I'm sorry, Anton. Girly
You see what I'm
girl,
saying?
I think I'm not sure. Share my screen one more time, real quick, please, Dulcie. I'm not sure girly girl, is this what you're talking about with the enumeration? I'm not sure if this is what you were talking about. It says that in the second paragraph, it says that it was not until the 1960s that people could select their own race. Prior to that, an individual's race was determined by census takers known as enumerators. And it was not until 2000 that Americans could choose more than one race to describe themselves. I'll put it in the chat if you want to take a look at it. I hope that was helpful, girly girl. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And the politics of it though, Dots, there's a lot of layers to this thing, right? That's why them people are focused, our people, even though they want to act like they're not our people, but our people who have decided to go a different direction stick to a race and color issue. That's it. They never talk about anything tangible. There's nothing tangible in their conversation. They are disqualified as soon as they say the word black. And if they use the word African American, they are disqualified because those names do not have any type of standing nowhere. They don't exist. But it's a figment of our imagination. And it's unfortunate. But if you go into the politics and everything, the turn of the 1900s, legislation across the board, Congress, all this stuff, presidents, all them stuff. It was melanated people. There's pictures of them. So who was actually doing the legislation at that time? I'm telling you, the best movie that ever came out was Django. He told everything. He told you who was running the plantation and who he had out in front of him. When he dropped that cane at the end of that movie, stood straight up and changed his whole language, and I said, ain't this about a blipper? I fell out my chair. I started laughing at the same time. I was like, ain't this about a blipper? But that's the key. We don't want to address that. And some of these people on these YouTubes and talking all that stuff that's in Congress and probably got bar cards and all that stuff might be descendants of these people. These same people that made the flip. It's unfortunate. To talk about. That's why I don't have no problem talking about my side. My side of the family on my dad's mom's side, they're Moors, real ones from Andalusia. I got graves and burial coffins with their whole body engraved on it. Big beards, brothers, big swords. Yeah. And if you don't want to touch on that part, then if you just want to be just one thing so bad, you're taking away from the fact of who we actually are. Essence is everywhere, and you can't get around it.
Yep. Freedom. Freedom, no fee. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just keeping my thing on mute because of Nana. You know, she got her little stuff on. But I can hear y'all. All right. So
I'm getting ready to drop down in a minute. It's going on midnight, y'all.
I know you're not sleepy.
I am not sleepy, but I'm kind of want me to be on. You don't want me to be honest, right? So I'm not going to be honest.
We already know.
So I'm gonna keep my mouth quiet because you know.
Call my phone, please.
You know.
No, I think we can wrap this up. I think
we should. I really think we should.
Most of the stuff out and stuff like that. So I think we can start to close.
And I think and don't hang. I mean, after we drop the stream, we'll speak to each other behind the scenes real quick, okay? Anything else y'all want to say?
All right, y'all. In a minute.
All right. Peace. Thanks everybody for coming through. Good night, y'all.
Yes. Appreciate y'all.
Want me to end the stream?
Yeah, end the stream, please.
Good night, everybody. Peace.
Good night.